Good morning, Raptor Freaks. Lexiot's here. It's a Wow Wednesday. And wow, what a great press conference by Darko Rajakovic. I got to make sure I say this right. I had only seen his name in print, so that's why it's called Rajakovic, but it's of course, Serbian name. So the J is always pronounced with a Y. So his name's Rajakovic. So I want to make sure I say that right. Paul Jones announcing his name yesterday at the press conference coming in. And I was like, oh crap, the J is like that. Of course, it's Jokic. It's not Jokic. So why would it be Rajakovic? It's Rajakovic. So I want to make sure I get his name right. As I have immense respect for the man after yesterday and what I heard him say. I mean, listen, I was right. I had those two predictions before the press conference. I said, Darko's going to do two things when he steps up to that podium and it takes a microphone. He's going to show us that he knows what he's talking about when it comes to basketball, tactician, X's and O kind of stuff. And then he's going to charm the hell out of everybody. And people are going to be saying, I like this guy. And well, he checked both those marks really, really, really well yesterday. Actually, some of the things he said were almost picture perfect, almost too perfect. The things that he was saying yesterday for what we need for our team, what he's going to do. I would say that all the Raptors that were in attendance in the front row at the game were smiling and very happy to hear what Darko said at that press conference yesterday. For the other coaches' press conferences, I don't know they had the turnout of the players like we did. We had at least 6 of our players at the press conference yesterday. Precious Achua, Christian Coloco, Delano Banton, Joe Wieskamp, Ron Harper Jr., Jeff Doughton Jr., all at the press conference. Now, I know in Milwaukee, Adrian had like $4 or $5 there, but we had more Raptors at ours, and I didn't see nobody at Nick Nurse's thing. I don't think they had any players at Nick Nurse's press conference. But yeah, Milwaukee, they had like, I think it was like Joe Ingles and like it was a really weird bunch. Marjan Beauchamp, I think he was there too. But yeah, really fantastic press conference. I love that they did it outside. I love that they did it on the 4th anniversary of our NBA championship in 2019. There's a lot of good things tied into what happened yesterday. If y'all listen to Darko very closely, there's some specific things he said that were absolutely fantastic. He hit it out of the park. I knew he'd connect with the Serbian community of Toronto, and boy, did he. It seems like he said, yes, they've already reached out to me. I already feel at home. And I already feel like this is a dream job. He said that he can't stop smiling. His face hurts, that he's smiling so much since he got hired by Masai to be the coach of the Toronto Raptors. That is all sounding like this dude is ready to hit the ground running and kick some ass in Raptor Red for our franchise. He said he's very much a very loyal guy. He said he's very much all about unity. He said he's very much on the same page with our front office. Somebody who was coaching our team last year was not on the same page as our front office. And it was very, very, very evident. And well, a lot of the things that were problems with Nick are not going to be problems with Darko. I can already tell. He's saying all the right things. Oh my gosh, all the right things. One point, he said this may have been the most important thing he said yesterday. He said, this isn't about me. This is never going to be about me. This is about me figuring out what I can use to do better for me to help them. It's all about the team. It's about them. I have to figure out every morning when I get up how I can help them get better every single day. And it's never, ever about me. It's about them. And that is such a clear distinction that Raptors Nation needs to hear because with Nick, it was starting to become about him. It really was. He gets a championship. He gets a big old head, and it becomes more and more about Nick Nurse. Nick Nurse. And then it becomes more about Nick Nurse. Well, Darko just doesn't have it set up like that. It's like he's so humble that I could never, ever see him get to the point where he's like Nick Nurse. He's had tons of success already in different places. He never got a big head. He's stayed the same. He coaches the same as he did when he coached the youth of Serbia. He has a humble heart, and he has a heart and service to the players. And I don't think Nick has that. Nick was like a celebrity at some point, and he became more like, he became very selfish. In fact, the more I think about it, with Masai saying people were selfish last year, I think he meant Nick Nurse. I don't think he meant the players. I think he was like, people are being selfish this year. Nick Nurse was who he meant when he said that shit last year, y'all. Because he was being selfish. He was being selfish with who he was and what he was doing and messing around with our team and its wins. So, yeah, everybody's still standing up for Nick. Y'all need to stop because, seriously, this dude's a bad dude. And like, listen, I got up this morning, I seen the news, and if Michael Grange is right, I'm gonna be so pissed off. Rico Hines is on Instagram this morning saying a farewell to Toronto, saying that it's been a great year. I appreciate it, Toronto, and he's out. He is out, and he has a picture of him with Earl Watson. So it's official. Rico is not going to be a coach for us next year. He is gone. This may be because Darko has come in, and Darko's wants a clean slate, have all new people. You better keep Jim Sand at least. Come on, Darko. Just keep Jim Sand at least, please. And then also Grange saying that Jamal McGlure is not officially going to be on the coaching staff this time, but he is still a part of the Raptors. I told y'all this would happen. And in fact, he was at the press conference yesterday. He was in the back of the press conference with Dr. Alex McKechnie and Lindsey Dunn. At the beginning of it, you could see Jamal standing and sitting in the crowd for Darko's introductory press conference. So Jamal is still a part of the Raptors organization, but he's not going to probably be sitting on the bench. Now, Darko, you'd be smart to use him as a big man coach, maybe, or something like that. I don't know. I don't like this. I mean, I know the turnover is good, but in some ways you want to keep a couple of people around. I was really hoping Rico would stick around, but he's gone. He said it this morning. He said goodbye to Toronto. And I'm sad about that. Just don't go to Philly, Rico. Seriously. You'll be dead to me if you go to Philly. And I don't want to do that to you. You're a nice guy and I like you. But yeah, this could be really bad as far as like, I don't understand why you go with Nick, because Nick's a problem, dude. You don't want to go to Philly. You know it's going to be a dumpster fire there. You could have your choice of going anywhere. Maybe you need to go back to California. Yeah, maybe you need to just like do your runs. I don't know. If I hear you're in Philadelphia with Nick Nurse, I'm going to be really sad about that, Rico. Because why go there? He fucking was mean to your dude Earl. Why would you go with Nick? And then, people are saying, oh, this means Pascal's going to leave because Rico's gone. That doesn't mean anything. There was 1 year in Pascal's career where Rico Hines was an assistant coach on the Raptors, and it was last year. And, well, he was an assistant coach for all the years before that when Pascal was here. So this is not related. That Rico leaves, that Pascal's definitely in a trade package this summer. Any fan who's already like making that assumption because of this, you're crazy. You are absolutely crazy. They're not going to be related. He's going to still work with Pascal. He'll work with him for the rest of this whole summer. He's just not going to be traveling with him next year in the season. So that's a lot of it right there. All right, let me see what all you guys are saying this morning. Dana's here first. First in the house is Dana. Good morning, everyone. I can't wait for the season to start. I can't either. I mean, if there's one thing I wanted this summer is enthusiasm, excitement. Just that sentiment that Dana's putting there is I can't wait for the season to start because I want to see Darko coach our guys and see how much better they are with him coaching them. There's a lot of that today with people. I mean, this is what we wanted. We wanted a guy who's going to come in and get everybody riled up and feeling like, I like this guy. I want to see this guy do what he's going to do, changing things from Nick Nurse. And I want to see if we can still be good because there's a lot of hope. He's a very confident guy. He has said all the right things, and he is the real deal. He's not full of shit. He means what he's saying, Darko. What he said yesterday he's going to do. You could see you can tell how he would instantly connect with some of the players. What he was saying was fantastic. He name dropped Serge Ibaka. First of all, at one point he said Serge Ibaka's name during the press conference. He's like, if you're name dropping Serge Ibaka, you better have him on your roster this year. I think that would be very good, Bobby and Masai. Go get Serge and put him on this roster. Coach Darko just mentioned him in his interview. And then he did mention Delano. He's like, guys, we'll do this with Delano cutting this way. And Delano was probably like, he's talking about me. He's talking about me. Yeah. He said, it's for these guys. That's what he's saying. He's like, it's not about a little NN on my hat. It's for these guys sitting in the front row. The juniors, Ron and Jeff, Joeezy. And Cloaks, as he called him. He called him Loco. He said Delano, Loco. I love that. He did say something nice about something good for Christian in that press conference. And, this may be a huge difference that Raptors fans need to understand right away is what he said about what's important to him on defense. That was a very interesting question. And the press corps did okay. They were in varying ranges of questions from Doug Smith and Michael Grange all the way down to Samson Folk and Oren Weisfeld. But the one question that really stuck out to me is like, what is your defensive approach? And we know last year Nick Nurse's was get on the point of attack and meet the ball and be really aggressive and force the action for the offensive team, like by being crazy and coming at them. Well, he has the exact opposite approach. He's going to wait for them to come to the paint and protect the paint. And then he also wants to guard the 3-point line really, really well. That is a very different philosophical approach to defense. It's going to be a very different year next year. And if he wants to protect the paint, that means, well, he's got two great shot blocking centers, guys that he can switch out for each other, named Jakob Poeltl and Christian Koloko. Yeah, Christian, you should have smiled real big when you heard that Darko values on defense paint protection. Because honestly, bro, you are the best paint protector on our team. You will be that guy. Jakob's a great guy. We love block up. He can protect the paint also, but you are the future for paint protection on this team. So, that was a good thing that Coach Darko said, Christian, yesterday about that. Yeah, there were all kinds of gold things. What are y'all's favorite parts of the press conference yesterday? What's your first impression of Coach Darko Rajakovic? And what else do you want to say about yesterday? Bobby Webster did do an interview with Josh Lewenberg yesterday, talking about a couple of things about this coach's search. Listen, when they started this search, they had a favorite in mind, but it really wasn't going that way. Darko was not one of their favorites. But what happened when they started this process, every time they dealt with Darko, that he hit it out of the park. He was basically like, this dude is really good. He was like impressing them so much. He started rising up in the ranks of who they wanted to maybe coach this team. And he just kept coming in with like the best answers and just the right energy and just all the kind of things. I think he really is a hugely great fit, considering our problems last season with confusion and unity. This year, we will not have those problems. In fact, Darko is not the kind of guy who likes to have things linger. He gets them out of the way and talked about and figured out. He's the kind of person that's very humanistic with his players, as far as he wants to get them know them as human beings and bond with them in that kind of way. He's very smart because he realized very young in his coaching career, if he gets those players to bought in and they love him, they will go way further for him on the court. They will put out so much more effort and do better results on the court if they're bought in and they want to do it for their coach. So that's what I'm saying. The word swagger and kind of like confidence was talked about a bit yesterday. The Memphis Grizzlies, I love this question. Like there's an interview with Josh Lewenberg after the press conference with just Darko. And he talks to him about the word swag and what it means to him. And he said, well, listen, these NBA players are very super good athletes. And they are very, very, very good. And they want to feel like superheroes. And you want to keep them down to earth, but you also want them to feel very powerful so they can go out on the court and execute and do amazing things. So he likes to talk about swag with his team, as far as we want you to have swagger and have that feeling of powerfulness. So you can get on the court and excel to your highest level. And that just speaks so much about the attitude of the Memphis Grizzlies in the last couple of years, of how loose and fun things were for their team. And still they played at a really high level. And they had good times doing it, even in dark times around their team, as far as Ja Morant is away because he's done this stupid shit, or Steven Adams is hurt, or whatever's going on. They were still having a blast down there in Memphis. So I think that that's something that we've sorely needed last year. Was barely any problems, maybe a little bit of kerfuffle between the coaches and some other issues and losing. And everybody felt like everybody's dogs had died. And it looked like that on our team. Well, I think that Darko's the kind of coach that when things are bad and down, he's really good at getting guys motivated and staying on task and getting it back to right. We never got that last year. Nick failed as a coach to turn the vibe around on the team. The vibe on the team died at some point during the season last year. And well, Darko's the kind of guy that will take that vibe and treat it like a plant and really nurture it, water it, give it sunlight, and feed it so it grows instead of withering away in the corner because you're neglecting it like Nick Nurse did last year. So if there's any kind of problems like we had last year, well, Darko ain't going to have it. He's going to be basically like, yeah, you guys, we all got to get on the same page. This is unity. Unity is a big word for him. Unity with the front office, unity with his coaches, and unity with his players. And if there's any kind of problems with that, he's going to go and fix that shit before it gets out of control. Trust me, he's that kind of guy. He's not leaving it hidden. He's going to get it out in the open and fix it. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I love it. Let's see. Trevor J's here. Good to see Trevor J. The new Raptors coach sounds like take us back to championships. Sounds like, oh, play is going to be very good this year. Can't wait to see how our bench players develop. You know, he said some very interesting things about being equitable. He said some things about, I want all the players to take part in the decision making on the court. You know, last year, or very heavily relying on Fred and Pascal to make a lot of the decisions on the team. Well, he's going to be more equitable. And this is great. Right away, after the press conference, Scotty Barnes posting the hiring of Darko Rajakovic, and that is a very good sign. Scotty approving of this hire and put it on blast right away. In fact, a lot of the players did this yesterday. They posted him. Chris Boucher, another one, posting his sign of his approval of the hiring of Darko. Very much Christian, a whole bunch of different people putting him on blast that this is our new coach and we are cool with him. I really do think Scotty liked what he saw in that press conference yesterday. He probably watched that press conference live, and he's like, this is my new coach. I like this dude. I'm all about it. Darko did say he's talked to Scotty on the phone in the days leading up to this, and they had a very good conversation. It'll be very, very interesting to see what Darko's approach is with Scotty. He seemed very gleeful when Josh Lewenberg brought him up about being able to be his coach and help him develop to the next level. This is the exact right kind of coach for Scotty at this stage of his career. He needs somebody to unpack him a little bit more, just like those Grizzlies got unpacked in the last couple of years by Darko, Jaren Jackson Jr., and Desmond Bain. Yeah, he's seen the results on that team with those guys. Scotty's got to feel pretty excited. And, the equity about what he's saying for what they're going to do on offense is really, really good. It's really, really good. He made very clear distinctions, the differences between him and his predecessor. And they are very clear distinctions. And in some ways, the weaknesses of the predecessor that ruined our season last year will not be weaknesses in Darko. They're not he's not that kind of person. He doesn't have the same weaknesses as Nick. He really doesn't. And he has a lot of the same things that Nick has in strengths. So that's the other thing is like, as they did this process, Bobby and Masai kept figuring out, well, he helps us with this too. And he covers up this problem that we might have, like the whole problem that everybody keeps talking about in the media. The Raptors are either going to be in a rebuild and developing years, or they're going for it to win. Well, with Darko, we have the flexibility of not having to switch the coach. He can go into either mode for us. If we don't win a lot this year, God forbid, I hope we win and we kick so much ass that we surprise everybody. But if we don't, Darko is going to be a fine coach to have at this time because we'll be getting value out of our time anyway, because he will definitely be developing and making these guys better and better. That's all he wants to do is make the players better. And as a whole, the team will get better over time. This myth about Nick Nurse being a great development coach is going to be found out very, very soon. That, it's not been Bobby and Masai's GM moves that have ruined development on our team. It was Coach Nick Nurse who did not allow development on his team by way overplaying the starters. Those guys that were sitting in the front row at that press conference watching Darko speak are going to be very much more utilized, and they should all be very happy to have that coach. He's going to figure out ways to use Jeff Dowtin Jr. He's going to use Koloko. Trust me. Koloko is just such a good weapon. In fact, Darko said one of the things I love about this Raptors roster, this is the other thing. He really upset the Raptor haters. They're like, tear it down, destroy it all. What did he say? Darko got up there and said, Bobby and Masai have done such a good job building this roster. It's such a good job. And I was like, yeah, Darko, you tell those haters to get, used to this core, and nobody's moving nowhere because he says that they've done such a great roster. And he said that we have the best front office, the best organization in the NBA. That's what Darko said. Everybody say, oh, he's just giving lip service. No, y'all don't understand this pattern that when people come here, they see how we treat them. They see the class. They see the prestige. They see the city. They see the people. They see the culture. They see the staff that are at MLSE, and they say, this is the best damn organization in the NBA. Yeah, you can ask players that come through here, coaches, that this is just the damn truth. It just is. He's not lying when he says that. He means it. He showed up. He saw it's the truth. Oh my gosh, the way they talked to me on the phone, the way I've showed up. This is the building. This is going to be my office. This is going to be the people I'm working with. What a dream job. The man can't stop smiling. The man can't stop smiling. Oh my gosh, I love it so much. Cowboys here. Good morning, Lex and Raptor Freaks. Bam, bam. Darko is the man for the job. I think the players will love playing for this guy, and you're the fucking man, Masai. Let's go. Yeah, Masai took his time and he did it right. Seriously, this guy's checking off all the boxes. I think that really was what won him over in the end, was that he was like, all right, well, what do we need right now, Bobby? Well, we need this, and our new coach, and we need this. Well, this guy has all of it. And so let's just hire him. And there, boom, Darko's here. The guy's super confident and he knows what he's doing. And the thing is, I have full confidence that he's going to come in with a system that's going to be successful and tailored to our players' specific skills and strengths. And he's going to kick so much ass. He said that over and over again yesterday. I make my system to my players and not my system to conform. The players have to conform to. And that's going to be a big difference between what happened last year and this year. That Nick had a system they had to do that didn't really take into account them. It took into account that as a collective, they're all very versatile, tall, athletic, long guys, but it didn't really take into account specifics about those guys in certain way. There was such a switchability that they were all anonymous in a way in Nick's system. Well, that's not going to be the case with Darko. He's going to realize, all right, this is Pirtle. This is what his strengths and weaknesses are. This is OG. These are his strengths and his weaknesses. And he's going to really, really figure out how to run a team in the right way. He's not going to be lazy. That's one of the things. I felt like Nick Nurse was such a lazy coach last year. We're not going to have a lazy coach this year. Darko's going to be on it. And he gets up out of bed every morning trying to make this team better. The ultimate competitor and a very, very loyal, good, unifying kind of guy. And I'm all about this. This team needs it so bad right now. MSJ saying, so people here are liking Darko, huh? Nick Nurse forgotten yet? I hope so. We're going to see better basketball this season. I really do think that. The basketball last year was ugly. The basketball last year was not fun to watch. We all agree. Masai said it himself. Well, we're going to make beautiful basketball to watch. In fact, Darko said those words yesterday. He said, we're going to make a brand of basketball that y'all will enjoy to watch. That does matter. That does matter. You know, we don't want to watch ugly basketball. We want to see the beautiful game. And the beautiful game is more beautiful in Europe in some ways because of the team play and the passing and the interconnectedness of the players. We had no interconnectedness last year. We had a bunch of guys that were kind of just doing their own thing. Well, this year they're going to be all on the same page. And if they're not going to be cool with Darko. He's going to get this out of them. Watch. It's going to be really, really interesting just how night and day our team will be. We go from the daylight of Nick Nurse to the darkness of Darko, and boom, all of a sudden we are a badass team again. This super talented, and everybody's like, where the hell did the Raptors come from? They weren't supposed to be this good. They're supposed to be rebuilding. They're supposed to be this. Well, he just took the really talented, great team that was already here, and he's getting more out of it because he didn't half-ass coach it like Nick Nurse did the last year. That's going to be a huge part of this. Seriously. Nako's saying, what a personable guy who seems so excited to be here and get to work. He seemed even happier than Udoka. I'm telling you, listen, that press conference yesterday was night and day. You go line up every single press conference of the 5 coaches that got hired this summer for the coaching vacancies, and you go watch each one. And you see the vibes on each one. You know, the Milwaukee one's the most similar to ours. They did theirs in a big open atrium. And they had it kind of on stools and casual, and it was a good vibe. It wasn't bad. Now the Philly one, full of losers and like look at sour faces and like hurt people with butthole faces. That's what that Philly conference looked like. Go watch it. Seriously, look at Nick. He looks all stressed out and messed up. And then you see those loser guys on each side of him, Daryl Morey and that president of their Sixers. You know, I hadn't really watched the Detroit one or the Phoenix one. But I'm telling you, doing it outside in Jurassic Park, Paul Jones, is called Jurassic Park. It's not Maple Leaf Square. It's a Raptors affair. You better call it Jurassic Park because that's what it was before it was Maple Leaf Square. We came there and showed up for Raptor games way before anybody did for the Leafs games. And that square is Jurassic Park, especially if it's a Raptors function. So Paul Jones, don't come in and say, welcome to Maple Leaf Square. No, welcome to Jurassic Park is the correct way to say it, Paul Jones. So next time, get it right. That's Jurassic Park, baby. Because I know, because I was one of the original people that came out there and stood outside and watched the games in the cold weather and didn't like have any barriers around me. Nobody was doing it. You didn't officially set it up. That was Jurassic Park. You got to get it right. That's right. I think people are really liking Darko MSJ. The overwhelming sentiment in the comments in a lot of ways at that time live was, I like this guy. There was a lot of people writing that in saying, this guy's cool. I like this guy. He's well spoken. He's articulate. He's got a sense of humor. He's very, very, very technical, and he could tell us stuff. He's like, when Samson Falk asked this question yesterday, he's like, I will send you a thing with X's and O's. And Samson Falk was just like beaming after that. He's like, this coach is going to send me his plays. Oh my gosh, Coach Samson Falk is going to have stuff coming from Coach Darko? Is that what's going on here? Our press corps is so funny. Each one of them have their own little personalities. Aaron Rose with his dumbass tabloid question. And then Oren and Samson asking really good questions. Savannah got a good question in there too. And then, Michael Grange making us all groan. Oh, Michael Grange. And Doug Smith too. Yeah, it's pretty funny stuff. Let's see. Kate Cowboy saying Nurse who? Yeah, seriously. This is going to be so different. He's going to do things that Nurse couldn't do with this team. It's going to be really, really weird, but it's going to be very, very, I think it's going to be very, very satisfying, gratifying that we're going to have a team that we reclaim that's playing more successful, getting more out of them. I'm so ready for next season. G saying, I love Darko. Great presser. Ron, Coloco, Doughton, Joe, Delano were there and to represent. Good stuff. I love that so many of the young players were there. And Precious was there too. There's pictures of him there also. He just wasn't sitting in that row with those guys too. So there were 6 Raptors at Darko's introductory press conference. And right afterwards, Chris and Scotty put it on blast too. So it seems like we've got a good overwhelming at least 8 players endorsing this move from afar and saying something about it publicly on social media or just being there is a big deal. So, yeah, I love it. Obviously Jeffrey Doughton Jr. being there is really, really good. And, I love seeing those young guys being there because they're getting that interconnectedness and they're working a little bit. And Darko even said to Josh in the later interview, I've already had some time in the gym with these guys and kind of working with them already. So it's like they could have done that introductory video press conference. And then they go right back inside the practice court, and Darko's upstairs already with those young Raptors who were in the front row. He's working with them already. I'm telling you, he's already working with them. I love it so much too, G. It's so good. Tom Duke saying, great morning. Feel like we really got a good one. No doubt. I like the fizz in this new pop can. That's right. That is right. The fizz in this pop can is effervescent. It's jubilant. It's making us feel refreshed and like energized, revigorated. Yeah, that's a lot of different words for how we can feel after that press conference yesterday. Anybody who's holding their head this summer about the Raptors, well, look out. We got the next new unknown coach that's going to be a superstar, and he's going to be somebody that everybody's going to respect and fear, just like they did his predecessor, just like they do Eric Spoelstra, just like they do Steve Kerr. This guy is that level of kind of coach, and he's going to show it to everybody very soon. The fact when the Raptors have winning going on in the fall already, and everybody's going to be like, wow, wait, what? The Raptors are supposed to be crappy. Nick Nurse left, and so-and-so player left this summer. Well, nope, that's not the case. Darko ain't here to lose. That's the thing. Listen, Masai Ujiri he's not fucking around being the president of the Raptors to lose. This man wants to win. And he said it at the end of it. It's like, what is the direction we're going in? Well, we're trying to win. We're not trying to be mid. We're not trying to be shitty. We're not trying to tank. We're not trying to destroy everything and start over. We're trying to win with this core with a new director of a coach that is directing this team. And that's the message. Y'all don't get it through your thick head, Raptors Nation and the press. It's very clear what they're doing. They've told you over and over again. He told you at the trade deadline. He told you at the end of the season interview. He told you again yesterday. Masai Ujiri is telling you, we're keeping the guys together. We're going for it, and we're trying to win. People that don't think we can win with this group of guys, well, we make a little bit of a move this summer. It changes just a little bit, and then boom, all of a sudden you'd be surprised what level of wins we can get in the season next year and how much noise we can make in the playoffs. Y'all need to understand this league is closer than ever with all the teams right across the board. And little things can be real needle pushers at this point. We make one big superstar move this summer with the new coach, and boom, all of a sudden we are near the top of the Atlantic Division and the Eastern Conference. So I want people to stop thinking that we're going towards disaster right now. This coach is for real. He is capable, and he ain't fucking around. He's just like Masai. He's only coming here to win. And he's not wasting his time to come up here and be a mid team or be a shitty team. He wants to get the best out of this team, and he wants to win. That man said the word win just like Masai said win. I listen to that inflection and tone in his voice when he says the word win, and he means it when he says it. So Raptors fans, I'm sorry. If you really want a shitty team to root for, go root for another team in the league that's shitty. Because the Raptors ain't a shitty team, and get ready to win again next season. Because Masai ain't fucking around. You think he took so long to hire a coach that he's going to get the wrong one and not want to try to win? No. That's part of the reason why it took so long, is because he wanted to get the right person, because he does want to win. So yeah, and he ain't about busting this whole team up either, y'all. So whoever's like rebuild, shut the fuck up, because that ain't what we're doing. We may trade one guy and get one big move. I'm predicting this is a summer just like 5 years ago in 2018, where we fired our coach, hired a new hot shot who's going to take over and really wow everybody, and we will make one big, huge trade, just like Kawhi and DeMar. Yeah, I'm still predicting this. That sometime in July, we're going to make a move that's going to be like a needle pusher for the Raptors, and everybody's going to be all enthusiastic and be like, whoa, the Raptors just got so-and-so, and they're going to be like, everybody's going to be a little worried. So just sit tight, Raptors fans. There's a lot of work to be done this summer still. The first part of it's done, though. We got a new coach, and this guy's the right guy. Yeah, Precious was there. He looked styled. He had a nice little garb on there. Let's see. Cool Cat is here. Good morning to Cool Cat, and good morning to the Raptor Free crew. Our coach seems great at communication. He has managed to speak Maasai type language. He did his homework. He is making sure he is on the same path. Blatant why Nick Nurse was let go. You know, he very much, like I said earlier, Cool Cat made it very clear the differences between him and Nick, what they are going to be. He's much better communicator. He's a much better human. In some ways, we can say that. Like, in some ways, he's a better human as far as like he really cares about things. There's a funny meme on Twitter right now that's hilarious. There's an old tweet of Darko's from around the bubble season when they were really putting Black Lives Matter on blast during that horrible summer with what happened with that murder the cops did with the knee on the neck. And well, Darko had a tweet that said end racism, end discrimination, end police brutality, end this, end that, Black Lives Matter. And that's funny. And then somebody posted that, retweeted it, and then they have a picture of Nick in his stupid little TV appearance dressed up as a cop. These is the differences between our two coaches, the last one and our new one. That this guy's all about this, and this guy's playing a cop on TV. It's hilarious. I mean, it's stupid and it's a funny thing, but it was funny to me when I saw it on Twitter. I was like, yeah, okay, I get it. But this is true. In some ways, Darko has a way of connecting with people maybe in a more sensitive way than Nick ever could, that he just doesn't have it in him. In some ways, he's going to be hard and rough no matter what with people. I think that matters, that, Darko cares about people and what's going on in their lives, and he may be able to deal with these guys much, much better than Nick. He'll get more out of them because they like him more and he cares more about them. There seemed like there's a very disconnected thing between Nick and the players last year where they didn't respect him or like him at a certain point. And that's why he had to let go. He had to be gone. Infamous is saying, salute the freaks. It's sad to see that Jamal and Hines will not be returning. Yeah, and G saying Jamal's coming back in a new position to be determined. Yeah, this is the same thing as before. Jamal McGlore's position in the Raptors has morphed over the years. He's been on the bench recently, but he was not on the bench before. So if he's not on the bench this year, it's not a big deal. As I said before, he's going to be a part of the Raptors, and he showed up. It was confirmed yesterday. But he will be like a community ambassador. He'll be somebody who works with in the community as being a representative of the Raptors. He's really good at that. And I think it'd be smart if Darko used him as a practice coach also, just for his size. That's a resource that's there. You might as well use it, Darko. You might as well. Let's see. G saying Jamal is coming back in a new position. Yeah, yeah, that'll be what happens. Fiercely saying, "Good morning, fam. Great introductory press conference. The future looks bright with Darko Hart." Yes, Fiercely. Yes, what a great interview. I mean, really, seriously, Raptors fans, how can you not feel good about this hire at this point? If you didn't know who he was, now you've heard his voice and you've heard him talk. How do you feel about him now? This guy really knows his stuff, and he's a cool dude. So we're going to be in good shape. I can already tell that Scotty likes him. And that is probably the most important person that matters, whether he likes him or not. So that is awesome. Yeah, let's see. M. Jones is saying, "Can you dig it? Can you dig it, sucker?" I love Booker T. When I say that, I say like Booker T would in wrestling. Sorry, I had to do some Harlem Heat there just for a second. Yeah, can you dig it, sucker? All right. Let's see. G saying Masai with the jokes. Masai, you Jurakovic might be his new name. Yeah, he said he wants to be Serbian because of all the great Serbian winning this week with the tennis player I never know how to say it. You know, the tennis guy, and then of course Joker in Denver and what they did this week. And Darko, seriously, Darko is an achievement for Serbia also this week, a huge one. So Serbia is winning this week. Holy crap, Serbia, you doing good. You know, after with the Josh Lewenberg interview, very interesting detailed stuff in that interview that I recommend. And then he also appeared on the Will Lou show yesterday, and some very interesting stuff said there also. But one of the things I found out about Darko is he speaks quite a few languages. And I think this is really cool and interesting. You know, the region he's from is very war torn. In fact, he talked about it a little bit as a kid growing up in the war around that region of Europe between the Serbians and the Croatians. Really, really bad, ugly kind of stuff going on there. And, you know, some of it's not totally healed. And it's hard. It's a region that is kind of like needs peace offerings and needs like doves and like, you know, more like humanity and like togetherness. And I found it very telling that Darko revealed yesterday that he does not only speak Serbian, he speaks Spanish. We know that because he was in the Spanish league also. He speaks English a little bit, as he put it, with Josh Lindbergh. He said, "I speak English just a little bit." And Josh laughed. "Darko, you're so funny." But he also speaks Serbian, Croatian, and Montenegrin, which is very much the three kind of regions around where he's from that were at every which way. So this is a man that respects the countries that have been, or the regions that have been at odds with his people, to know their languages also. And in some ways, that to me embodies a peaceful man, a peacekeeper, that somebody would do that. So it really was a very crazy stuff that happened over there in Kosovo, and things that happened in around the late 80s, early 90s, and even into the 2000s. So I like that this man's from a very like difficult place, that he has that experience, but he's very much about peace, love, and understanding. And it says a lot as a Serb, that is what he's about. That's really, really good. Really, 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 really good. Yeah, Masai was trying to be funny yesterday. It hit and miss. Some people were like, "Masai, just stop, please. Come on, you're bombing. Please, Masai, just stop telling jokes. They're just not hitting exactly right." His timing was off. Let's just put it that way. We didn't want the jokes like that. There was one thing Masai said I did not like at all, and I got really mad at him. Sometimes he does that. Sometimes he says it's like he's had these put your foot in your mouth kind of situations recently. He had the one where it's like Nick told him, "Oh, good luck with those guys. Good luck with those guys." And my dad heard him say that. He said, we talked about it. He's like, it sounded like it was bad what he was saying, not good. I was like, well, why would Masai even bring it up? It was a bad thing what Nick said. Maybe that was the nicest thing he said, the whole interaction. But now the one he said yesterday said, "Oh, everything seems good until he finds out the bad stuff." I was like, Masai, why do you have to say that? What do you mean the bad stuff? What is the bad stuff? The bad stuff is gone. What is the bad stuff that's still left, Masai? The bad stuff went with Nick, right? Is there still bad stuff we got to deal with? What are you talking about, Masai? When you say, "Oh, he's so happy until he finds out about the bad stuff." What the fuck do you mean, Masai? The bad stuff. Seriously, I thought this stuff was good. You know, Darko loves being in Canada. Seriously, it's weird because him and his wife Gaga just became American citizens in April, like 2 months ago. And now all of a sudden he's moving his family to Canada and he's a newly minted American. Very, very weird in that timing of that. But you know what? He's embracing it. And obviously he's going to love being in Toronto. Apparently his wife saw the city and she's like, oh, this place is better than New York. She's already saying Toronto is just such a fabulous city. And Darko said, this is good. She likes this. She likes Toronto. This is good for me. That was pretty funny to me, So yeah, he's got a young wife and he's got a young child, and he's got a young family, and now he's got a Serbian community in Toronto that's just gonna really love him. Like this dude's gonna be like the mayor of Toronto and Serbian community. Trust me. And he's such a personable person. I know he's going to be involved in the Serbian community in different ways. And they're just going to, oh man, they're going to embrace him and make him feel so at home here. And I love that about Toronto. It's just that way. These guys come from Nigeria and they want the Nigerian food. They can get it here. Like, they can get it in the authentic way that's for real. Like, you can get that shit in Milwaukee? No, you're not going to get that shit in Milwaukee, probably. So that's what I'm saying. Toronto has some good advantages to it for all the disadvantages of being the only Canadian team in the league. We have some good advantages, and these advantages go along with Darko and who he is, and keeping him on this side of the border with us. He likes the European mentality. He likes the international flavor. He knows that this is on international press pages all around the world, that a Serbian coach is now the coach of the Toronto Raptors, the international NBA team. And that is all a good fit. That's a very good fit. I think this is why Bobby and Masai just went with Darko. It's the fit just got more and more like a good fit. The more they discovered more as the interview process went on. It's like, this dude, we got to get this guy. It's like probably what they're saying. We just got to get him. Seriously. Like, I talked to him on the phone the other day. He was so funny. It's that kind of stuff was going on. So MSJ saying, good to know Doughton was there. That's a good sign. Just need to draft another guard and we're good. Maybe a trade. I am just glad the Nick Nurse, Fred VanVleet duo is gone. That was going to get us nowhere. Well, we don't know if Fred's gone yet. But we'll see. Yeah, Jeff's always going to be in the plan. Same with Jakob. Everybody's freaking out about Jakob Poeltl. Listen, I've seen what he's doing right now. He's in Austria. He's having a nice time of this summer in Austria, just back with family and friends in his home country. He's going to be participating in a charity bicycle ride. And I want all the Raptors Nation to go and support it. Go to Jakob Poeltl's pages on Facebook or Instagram and find the post and donate some money to this charity ride he's doing in Austria. It's a similar one to one my brother does in Atlanta, where they have people that are sitting in chairs and they ride them. It's like disabled people that you want to be in the race, and it's raising money for everything. It's such a good cause. So please go support Jakob Poeltl, Raptors Nation, with donations to this charity bicycle ride that he's doing in Austria, in Vienna, very, very soon. He's putting it on blast on his social media. So if you guys want to find it and support Jakob in this cause, you can do it. Now, I know this guy's going to be back. Everybody's like, well, what if he walks? What if he's not going to do this? This is a gentleman. This is a man of his word. This is a good guy. He's a good kid. There's nothing weird or nefarious about Jakob Poeltl. If he decided to agree with Masai at the trade deadline that I am a unrestricted free agent this summer, but I promise you, Masai, I'm coming back. If he turned on his back on us, it just would go against everything that's about his character and who he is. He really does love Toronto. He really does love Pascal. He really does love being a Raptor. So everybody's kind of being weird about Jakob Poeltl and wondering and worrying about him. I fully trust Jakob Poeltl that he's going to be back in with the Raptors. If I'm wrong, I'm going to be really like, whoa, I didn't read his character very much, right? But I feel like it's a done deal and that it's just how it is. He hasn't changed anything on social media. He's very much supporting the Raptors and putting it on blast still around his stuff. So there is a bit of a fear that he might stab us in the back and go and sign with somebody else, go back and sign with the Spurs as one of them. And that may be the most likely other than us. But I don't think it's going to happen. I think that he very much was happy to finally get back to Toronto. And, he may know Darko to an extent also. This is the thing. The European basketball community is so close knit. The fact that Darko name dropped all those European coaches, the great European coaches in the press conference yesterday as being his friends. Well, that, first of all, shows you he's in a peer group of the greatest European coaches, because they're all buddies together. And he specifically said Sergio Scariolo is a mentor of his. So, this is the thing. Those European guys are all connected. He's coached Nikola Jokic and the Serbian national team. So they're very close. He does know Jokic, and they are close friends. In fact, Jokic and him have talked to each other in the last couple of days since Jokic won the championship and Darko got the head coaching job in Toronto. So anybody who's thinking, oh, just because they're Serbian, they don't know each other. Well, they do, actually. They do very much know each other. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see what's happening in MSJ. I'm all about drafting another guard. In fact, I started yesterday doing my draft board for the draft next week, and I'll reveal it to you guys tomorrow on the Thursday Think Tank. Tomorrow, we're going to go deep on the 13th pick for the Toronto Raptors, which will be a week from tomorrow, the draft. So we're going to get into the heavy draft stuff coming up this week. Very much a lot of draft coverage leading up to the draft on Thursday. But tomorrow we'll do the Thursday Think Tank, and I want y'all to come in with your names that you really like and put them, show them to me. Tell me who they are, and I'll go look at them and maybe kind of analyze it. I have my own rankings. I really went and looked at about 20 of the prospects that are around where we might pick, and I put them in order of what I like about them and what I don't. I really did look at them pretty in depth, looked at who they're being compared with and what their weaknesses and skills and stuff like that are. One of the most important things to me about our draft pick is the field goal percentage from three. I want a good three-point shooter. I don't want to mess around and have like a guy who's got to learn how to shoot, like a lot of our young players on this team. They come in as good athletes, but they got to learn how to shoot better. None of that. We want somebody who's ready to go, who's a good shooter right now. Somebody like Joe Wieskamp. We can add to this kind of barrage of good shooters around the shooting guard, combo guard range. That is what we want for this year. So we'll talk more about it tomorrow. Thursday Think Tank on the Raptor Freak channel, 9:30 tomorrow, going deep on the draft stuff. So get your draft stuff ready for tomorrow to come in and tell me what you think in the Think Tank, because it's all about what we all think and coming up with ideas together. That's what I like. Yeah. Let's keep going. Randolph Phillips is in the house. Beloved Raptors freaks, most informative gang. Blessings. And I know he's talking about that press conference yesterday. Blessings. The coach has given us the boost we need. Raptors can really sell a product. Good things are coming. Masai made this plea to us at the end. I felt like he was speaking directly to us, Raptor freaks. He says, fans, listen to me. I want y'all to support us. I want y'all to show up. I want y'all to believe in us winning still. And he's telling us, you don't have to convince us too much. We're the ones that will get behind that real quick because we're the positive Raptor fans. It's those other ones. They're going to be like negative ninnies, Debbie Downers, Chicken Lillers. Oh, the team's going to be so mad. The team's not going to make the playoffs. The team's not going to do this. Yeah, those are the people that Masai's talking to. He said, we want y'all to buy the tickets, come to the games this year. And not think that just because Nick Nurse left, there's going to be a drop-off on our team. There's going to be a very entertaining, winning kind of team playing for the Raptors next year. And do not wane in your support for the team, Masai is telling us at the end. So I take that very directly to us on this channel. What we're doing, we got to get the excitement, enthusiasm up for this team so that the whole general consensus of Raptors Nation is with us. So Masai, mission told to us, well, we will take that mission and we'll do as best as we can this summer to help you with the war of perception. Masai Ujiri, that's right. We can. He wants this product. It's going to be good. The Raptors will have a good product to put on the court next year. And I love that Randolph is feeling enthusiastic and reinvigorated by that press conference from Darko yesterday. Fantastic stuff. Blessings to Randolph Phillips and his family and all of his loved ones everywhere. Fiercely saying, I watched Josh Lewenberg's TSN interview. Not one, not two, but three Fred VanVleet jerseys in the background. All right, let's talk about this Fiercely. This is funny because Josh is getting a lot of heat for this. That everybody thinks Josh Lewenberg is a Fred stan, and he is to a degree. You're right. But rightfully so, because in some ways, Josh is standing up for the legend, the Raptors legend, Fred VanVleet. Now, let's get this right. The 23s behind them were not necessarily for Fred. They were for the year that we're in right now. And that is what people are saying from TSN, that the reason why they had a bunch of 23 jerseys behind them on the set was because it was about the year, not Fred. It's just convenient that it was Fred's number. So everybody stop reading it too much. They're trying to be something. It was dumb. They wanted to be 2023 behind them, but it's actually Fred's number, and they totally forgot that, which is kind of dumb. but it is what it is. Is this how much we hate Fred at this point? That he can't have his jersey hanging in the locker room, at the Raptors locker room in the back? I mean, I don't think this is a big deal. And anybody's really reading into it or trying to get upset, okay, go blame Josh Lewenberg for being a Fred stan. Okay, that's fine. Iceman like Gervin's here. Good to see you, Iceman like Gervin. A real one. Menace Police is in the house. Yeah, let's see what's up. Looks like Rico is leaving. Don't know about Jim Sand, but Darko will get to select his own full coaching staff. Yeah, I hate this. I hate waking up and seeing this, Iceman. That like Rico has said goodbye to Toronto this morning on Instagram. So it's obvious he's gone. So they hung on to him just to go to Combine and coach a couple teams and kind of scout out for us. And then he's leaving. Well, you better forget everything that you know from our organization. Before he's on the way out, Bobby Webster, get that thing from Men in Black and zap his head real quick. Zap, zap. You got to zap him. We don't want him taking the Colonel Sanders original recipe over to the Philadelphia 76ers, Nick Nurse. Oh, wait, Nick Nurse is already there. He already has it. Damn it. Ah, fuck. All right, well, I just don't want him to go to Philly. Doesn't make any sense if you go to Philly. Don't go to Boston either, Rico. Go back west. Go back to California. You can get a job with one of the teams back in your home state. Just go back there, please. Maybe you can be on the Clippers this year. Maybe the Kings will have you back and you could just be back on the Kings like you were before. Just go west, young man. Please go west, young man. That's what I tell everybody from the Raptors organization that's leaving our organization right now. Just go west. Don't stay east. I don't want to see you in the east. No, go west. But yeah, Jim Sand, I don't know what to think about Jim Sand now. I think he's okay. I mean, we did the Share the Love Club for him. He said he loved it. I think he's okay. I think he's still here. If anybody is protected, has immunity, it's Jim Sand. Everybody else, they're gone. I mean, Darko, come meet Jim. Hi, Darko. Hi, Jim. I've heard a lot about you all around the NBA. Oh, thank you, Darko. You're still here. You're okay. That's what I want to hear, In some ways, all right, Darko kind of tipped his hat a little bit about what he's going to be doing with his staff. He said he's been already kind of getting it organized and ready, and we're going to hear about them in the weeks to come. But he has a very diverse staff. That was a word that he used in describing it. He has guys from all different walks of life, guys with different experiences, guys with different specialties that he's assembling for his assistant coaching staff. That is what he told Josh Lewenberg last night in that same interview. If y'all want to watch that interview, seriously, it's got a lot of good stuff. I watched that press conference like 3 or 4 times over, and there were all kinds of interesting things going on there. Like Dr. Alex McKechnie flirting with Lindsey Dunn in the back before the press conference. Yeah, I always see them talking. Seriously, they're like very good friends. Whenever I'm at any Raptors function and there's kind of media types and staff kind of hanging around near the entrance where people come out, I always see Dr. Alex talking to Lindsey. He's probably like, "Oh, Lindsey, how are you doing? Oh, Dr. Alex, how are you doing?" And it's like it's a family. Everybody around the Raptors knows each other and they hang out and they talk. You see Will Liu and Alex Wong sitting in the back row at at the press conference, and you see Savannah and all the Sportsnet people here, and it's cool. It's cool. All right, let's keep going. I don't know who's going to hire yet, though. Darko, he has not named anybody, but I like the fact that he said it's going to be diverse. I'm sure he's going to have some former players on his staff. And who knows? He may have some European coach or two. And hopefully he'll have some people from around the NBA that are already names that we kind of know already. We want to see people that kind of will, listen, if he has like a guy that's really good with the end of game, like specialty stuff, he has an offensive guy, a defensive guy, he has to have all the different roles, video people, scouting people filled. I'm really going to be loving to see who he hires. I think it's going to be really telling, and it's going to tell the really insider kind of basketball fans like us more about his coaching DNA and who he is and what he values just by who he brings as his assistant coaches. Tom Duke saying Darko answered the selfish question, saying players all make mistakes. When you got 2 people on you, someone is open, need to trust teammates to hit the shots. Trust comes in time spent working in the gym. In some ways, Nick Nurse's coaching style just had full of mistrust because he really did kind of turn the water off on people very publicly on the team. And he had his haves and have-nots, and they were obvious who he had halves with. Well, in some ways, the way he treated them and coddled them so much, they didn't trust their teammates as much. Like we would see Pascal and Fred pass up hitting the next guy instead going up against 2 or 3 defenders. Well, Darko ain't going to have that. No, 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 no. If you get double teamed, you're passing out of the double. You're not going to try and force the ball in isolation against 2 defenders anymore. Nobody. He doesn't want any of them to do that. So he says basic basketball. If there's 2 guys on you, that means somebody's open somewhere. You better fucking find them. And that's what he wants. And if you're going to build up this trust too, he's got to get all these guys to believe in each other and freely give it up to each other. No more freezing guys out. There was a lot of that last year. I saw guys freezing each other out when the next logical pass was there. No, that's going to be a big no-no with Darko. And y'all will get in trouble this year if you do the same shit you did last year, just so you know, Raptors. So, yeah, I love it. The trust is going to be very important. I think this is something we lost last year with this team. Trust was lost all around. Trust was lost. Front office lost trust in Nick. The players lost trust in Nick. The players lost trust in each other. There's just trust was lost. And Darko's going to come in and reinstall trust in the Raptors franchise and their team. And that's something very huge that we need checked off for this year. Is we need some trust marked on, because we lost it last year. A lot of trust went out the window last year because of the toxic around Nick. And I hate that so much. It was so bad for our team. And we regressed because of it. In some ways that Darko has to come back to a level where we already were, just because of how much trust was lost last year around our team. Oh, wow. I love how much you guys filled it up. I definitely want to talk about this today, and I do have time, so I'm not really worried. But I do want to have a cutoff time at some point. But this is great. I love this. Let's see. Tom Duke saying Will Luce scared him great in his questions. Scared him? Gave him good. Yeah, there were a lot of good questions all over the place, and Darko didn't shy away from them. He gave very good, upfront, honest answers. So Will Lute, watch that interview, and then the Josh Lewenberg interview, and then, of course, the presser itself, for sure. Let's see. Cowboys saying this is like a 2-liter Coke with Mentor and Fizz. See, he's not even saying this is a pop can anymore. Darko's like a 2-liter. He's a 2-liter. I love it. Space Cadet saying, interesting interview with Josh. Darko sure made it seem like he wants Fred back. Yeah. Well, he understands who he is and he respects him. As he said, he knows who he is from afar and watching him. And he very much gave a very accurate description of the kind of player Fred is. And who wouldn't want that kind of player on your team? Just knuckleheaded Raptors fans who are idiots that are after Fred's head for some reason. I don't understand this. I still don't to this day. Now, this will really make people's heads explode when Fred re-signs with the Raptors for $28 million a year over 4 years, and everybody's going to be so upset he made that money. Once again, logical Raptors fanatic knows our cap space really well, and he said we can afford to pay Fred this and still keep everybody. So don't chicken little and be crazy when we re-sign Fred for a number around $28 million a year, and he's still on our team. Now, people will say, well, that's not fixing the problem from last year. Well, what if Darko uses him in a totally different way? It's not that Fred's stubborn or an asshole. He will listen to his coach. As I've said, the thing that is programmed in Fred's head is to win. And to win means to go under the direction of the coach. He's a player. He understands that. If the player comes and hears the coach say, this is what I want you to do, the player does what the coach wants him to do. And Fred's the same dude like that. His role can be changed. He's very adaptable. I don't understand why people hate him so much. The man has bent over backwards to change who he is and what he's going to do for this team as the years have gone on. And some people just don't understand that. They really think that he's an asshole and he only cares about himself. That's not true. Nick heavily relied on Fred more than he should have. In fact, Fred kind of was the coach on the court because Nick wasn't being enough a coach on the bench. And in some ways, that's part of the reason why Fred looked like he was too much in control or too much overpowering on what was happening to his team. If it's lightening his load, well, Fred can have a lighter load and still be a really important part of our offense and doing all kinds of important things. As Darko said, Fred has intangibles that are very important. And I'm glad that he respects and realizes who Fred VanVleet is and why he would be good to have still on the Raptors. You know, if he leaves, he leaves. So be it. He can get more money. We may not pay him $30 million a year. That other teams may pay him $30 million, and he wants to take a $2 more million a year or something like that for somebody else. Go ahead, Fred. You go ahead. Move to Florida and Ron DeSantis land or something like that, or Houston with the crazy ass Texas state too. Whatever. We can't control that. But as I said before, I think it's 50-50. 50% Fred will be back here, or 50% he could be on any of the other 29 NBA teams. So I think he's closely coming back. I mean, Bobby Webster, a lot of what he said to Josh Lindbergh after the press conference said, we are talking to Fred. We knew he was going to opt out. We expected that. And we are having very friendly, good conversations. It's not like they aren't talking to each other and they're in a bad place like sometimes happens in these situations. No, the open dialogue and conversations between Bobby Webster, Masai Ujiri, and Fred VanVleet are happening. And we are trying to broker a way for him to stay in Toronto. So all you Fred haters, your head may be exploding in July when it's announced that Fred has signed a new deal back with the Raptors. And you're going, what? Why did they do that? Oh my gosh. Because Darko likes him and he can use him. And he's a very useful player, even if y'all think he's not that good. Let's see. Van Hoot's here. Good to see Van Hoot. Check out Basketball Rewind. I was watching some of y'all's stuff last night, catching up on the Basketball Rewind, a great YouTube channel with really good high-level basketball conversations, very intelligent conversations there. Let's see. Van Hoot's saying change is good. Rico wants more for himself, and he may not have that opportunity. You need to be comfortable with people wanting more. That is okay. We have not maximized our best player, Pascal Siakam. Time to start. I love that. I love that. Yeah, I think that's true. Let's see what Darko's approach is with Siakam. Maybe when Siakam doesn't have to labor through isolation so much and beating like 2 or 3 guys every time down the court, maybe when he isn't run so ragged that he doesn't have to say, I can't afford to be tired anymore. Maybe Darko will balance things a little bit better and get just as good stuff from Pascal, him still being very overpowering weapon in the NBA as an offensive player. I'm excited to see just how he switches things up with the offensive system and just how wide open our guys and how much easier things are for them without having to work so hard like Nick had them. Because he did. He made them work overly hard than they had to in a lot of situations. Seriously, there were easier ways to get guys open and get better shots. Nick did not set up a system that garnered good, efficient shots. And that's why they shot so bad and our offense looked horrible. Next year, watch, magically, things are going to look way, way better just because we have a better coach. Seriously. The thing about Rico leaving, I think this really kind of this. I think that it's just that Darko wants a clean slate. And, Rico may have wanted to stick around, but Darko's like, no, I don't want him here right now. I want to come in with my own people. Now, if he says yes to Jim Sand, I want to just keep somebody. Please, Darko. Please. Now, in that Rico clip, it showed him and Earl saying goodbye to Toronto, kind of together. So it may be that Rico, because you're like, all right, you're not keeping my guy around. I don't want to be here either. Because if Earl's not here with me, I don't really want to be in Toronto. And that could have been part of it. Well, will you stick around and just do the combine stuff for us, Rico? Until then, yeah. And I'll see who you hire as a coach. And if it fits, I'll stick around. But if it doesn't, please let me leave off my contract. And, well, that's what happened. That's what happened. He left his contract. He was under contract for next season, Rico Hines, but he's ripped it up. And now he's free to go wherever he wants. Don't go to Philly. Don't go to Philly, Rico. Do not go there. Edgar's here. Good to see Edgar Lozano. It's been a little bit. I remember your name from a while back, but it's good to see you back in here. Not sure if it was the Nick Nurse effect, but I was disappointed with the improvements under Rico. I hope he does well, but time for new voices in our locker room. Yes. Thank you, Edgar. I think that part of the disappointment was we saw such a great Rico Hines run last year that we're like, all right, the Raptors are going to be really in good shape and they're coming like a ball of fire and we're kick so much ass. Well, the effects of all that good work in Rico Hines runs was not felt in our regular season. And in some ways, that was a disappointment for sure. That was a disappointment. Now, I don't know if that was a disappointment from Rico, because I think it's more of a disappointment with Nick just not taking that inertia and going further with it in the season. Now, Pascal getting hurt was a big part of that too. So, but yeah, Darko's going to be fantastic in the locker room. In fact, I think Memphis Grizzlies are a little worried because Darko is that unifying glue in the middle of the Grizzlies team that really kept guys happy and going together. Next year may be a little dark for them without Darko. And that, it may be tough, especially with Ja Morant is suspended for most of the season. Next year's going to be tough for the Grizzlies, weathering the loss of Darko and then the possible suspension of Ja Morant. It's not going to be a fun season for them right away. G saying open gym is going to be fire. Yeah, they had a clip already yesterday. of him in the car coming downtown, and that was the one where he said his wife really likes Toronto. He was talking about just coming here and stuff like that. This is such a good fit, and this guy's for real. He's bona fide. He's genuine. He really is happy about this job. I believe him when he said he couldn't stop smiling since Saturday. I believe him. You can tell he's that kind of guy. Yeah, the open gym episode for Darko, there's going to be a few. Trust me, there's going to be a lot of them. There'll be some on his background, and then there'll be more about him just in different ways. You know that. They're going to be great. And in some ways, he's got a dramatic to him that'll be making the episodes really interesting and stuff like that. He's got a fire. You know, one thing I'm not worried about with Darko is with the refs, because I've seen him compete in basketball games as a coach before. He's very fiery. He's very feisty. He will argue for what he feels like is fair for the Raptors on the sideline as a coach. Now we'll see how much the refs respect him. You know, there's a little bit of a question mark with that. That is something that I valued in looking for the new head coach, was somebody that isn't going to have to go through kind of bullshit with the refs where like, hey, you're nobody. We don't know who you are. And we're going to kind of not give you any kind of respect. Well, I hope that he can show that he's a very capable coach that demands respect, and that the NBA refs don't go through some period of time where they're actually kind of treating him like shit in the very beginning. So hopefully that we can avoid that, just because Darko has a professionalism and a feistiness in the way he carries, and he'll fight for what he wants against the refs when he has to. So that's going to be real interesting stuff. We're going to see how he is with the refs. He's not going to be exactly like Nick, but I will tell you right now, he's no pushover. He's not a pushover. He will stand up for us, and he will advocate and fight for the Raptors on the sideline as the coach. Now, yesterday, we got more news about coaches stuff with the Raptors. Eric Curry did a coach's clinic this past Saturday for the 905, and it is nodding too that he has been saved in this whole thing. I guess when you're on 905 and you're away from the Raptors that whole time, you were absolved of any of the dysfunction that was on the main roster team, because Monique is reporting that Eric Curry will be entering his second year as the head coach of the Raptors 905. So he was not fired. We saw him on Saturday coaching a coach's clinic out in Mississauga with his staff out there. So I guess he was clear of all this, and Eric Curry is still around. All right, let's see. Cool Cat saying, oh no, Coach Rico is gone. That is Pascal's development coach. Sad that he is not in-house. He represented us at the NBA Draft Combine and won all of his sessions. Wow. Yeah, it sucks, Cool Cat. It kind of is throwing me for a loop. I guess Grange was right, but he better not be right about the second part. He's guessing that he's going to Philly, but why would he go there? Seriously. All right, M. Jones telling everybody, press the like button, y'all. Thank you, M. Jones. Heart to you. G saying, like that, he said his job started 3 days ago. That's right. Darko hit the ground running. He started it on Saturday. And you know what it was? The initial stuff was reaching out to players and talking to them. He said he's talked to every single Raptor on the roster already, and he's making plans to meet face-to-face with each of them now, next. So it could very well be Darko's getting his bearings around Toronto a little bit for the next couple of days, meeting with all the guys that are around here right now. But he may be getting on a plane and flying around a little bit, maybe going to Florida to see Scotty down there, maybe going to wherever Pascal is, going to see OG, going to see Fred, going to see these guys in person and actually talking to them in their face and getting to start a new relationship with them. We've already seen Coach Griff over in Greece. He flew over there with Giannis and was at the front court sitting next to the Anakumto brothers at the Greek championship finals. So Adrian Griffin is very much running around with Giannis right now to get more close to him to get ready for the season. So, yeah, it was cool to see Griff over there in Greece with the Anakumtos sitting in the front row. Let's see. Tom Duke saying, yeah, seems as excited as any of us. I know. That's the thing. It gets like contagious. That Darko has a real excitement about being the Toronto Raptors head coach, and it is prestigious. It seriously is. Let's not slouch ourselves. Let's not treat it like how people in the States might treat it. This is a prestigious job. To be the head coach of the Toronto Raptors is a privilege, as Darko put it yesterday and Nick said last year at the beginning of the season. It is a privilege, and it's not something to disrespect, as Nick did last year, because you can lose it. And I think that people that understand the privilege of that will come at it in the right kind of energy instead of just being kind of like, yeah, I'm so good, they're lucky to have me. No, you need to come in and be like, I am very lucky to be here and coaching this job. And that's the way that he comes in, Darko, at this point. This really, and he will continue to be that. I don't see him changing. I don't see him changing. If he gets this starstruck stuff that happened to Nick Nurse, I don't see him changing his personality just because he's more well grounded on the ground. And he can't get floaty with his head and get a big head and float up in the air like Nick did. So I don't see that with Darko. And I really do hope he's our coach for a long, long time. We want a Popovich here. We want a Spoelstra. We want a Steve Kerr. We want a guy who's going to stick around for like 10 years. That is a good thing for an NBA team. So people that are predicting Darko done in like 2 or 3 years, fuck that. We want him to be successful and we want him to go really far. They're talking about they want the second championship. Darko wants a Larry O'Brien for Toronto, just like Nick Nurse did. Masai wants more Larry O'Briens to make us seem not like a fluke in 2019. He said, we want to make sure that this looks like bona fide and the Raptors are for real. We need that respect. We need to win a second Larry O'Brien. So these guys are on the same page, and that's what they're all about. They're not about being a mid team like people think we are. We are not a mid team. We have a very good, talented team. In fact, we had such good talent. Like Bobby and Masai would look at our team in the front office and they'd be like, why the fuck aren't we playing better? What the fuck is wrong with you, Nick? We gave you a really good, talented team, and you're not getting more out of it. Well, that's what they're going to be looking at with Darko. They're going to see just how much he gets more out of their talent because we really do. We have one of the most talented Toronto Raptors team in the history of the franchise right now. And everybody who thinks our teams is not good, you don't know basketball. You don't know the players that we have, and you don't know the ceilings that they've got because they have some crazy ass ceilings. Scotty Barnes alone has a ceiling that could take us singularly to an NBA championship. And I think Raptors fans don't realize that. They really, really don't realize we can get better from within. We don't need some young draft pick like Scoot Henderson to come in and save us. We can do it with who we've got. They've just got to make the jumps and development under a guy like Darko. And then boom, all of a sudden we're competing at a high level with the best teams in the NBA and a contender to be a Larry O'Brien champion again. So I'm telling you, it's coming. It's coming. Darko's the right guy. We got the right guy yesterday. Let's see. Monique is here. Good to see you, superfan Monique Lawrence, the greatest. Good morning, everyone. Darko mode activated. October yet? Anyone? We'll start your countdown, Monique. Put the numbers on the wall and tell us how many days until the first game of preseason, until the first game of summer league. Tell us when these countdowns are, Monique. I want to know how long we got to go until we get Raptors basketball back on the court. Yeah, MSJ saying at Space Cadet, he has to say something to that effect, but I don't think Fred is back. I see Darko totally focused on the youth on this team. All those players Nick could have turned into a bench. Yeah. I mean, whatever way he's going to go, he's going to make it more balanced. Either way, Fred, you want to stick around? Well, it's going to be a little more balanced. And Fred might like that better, honestly. I think people really misunderstand who Fred is and his character. He wants a more balanced team. He doesn't want to carry everybody on his back like he's had to the last couple of years. He wants it more equal. He really does. Everybody thinks that Fred's selfish. You just fell for that bullshit from that He Who Shall Not Be Named channel. It's not who Fred is. Trust me. He's a real one. And it's going to be crazy when it comes through this summer and everybody sees just how much of a real one for Toronto he is. And he's just like DeMar. I don't understand why people can't understand that. DeMar was so for Toronto. He had really bought in. He was loyal. He wanted to be a Raptor for life. And then we stuck it in his back and we sent him away. Well, Fred doesn't want that to happen to him. And in some ways, he's taking care of himself. But he is the same way about Toronto that DeMar is. Y'all need to understand. He loves Toronto. He wants to be a Raptor for life. He means it. Even if y'all hate him, half the fan nation fucking want to run him out of Toronto. Well, that hasn't changed how he feels about this city. And I love him, man. I love Fred so much. I want Fred back. I'm not with these people that want Fred out of here. I think Fred is very, very, very valuable and important to this team. And I do not disrespect him by saying he needs to fucking go. I'm not one of those people. I really am not. Now, if he goes because he wants more money, he's going somewhere, so be it. But otherwise, I want him back as much as possible. Darko does too. And I believe him. I really do. I believe him. Who wouldn't want Fred VanVleet on their team? Seriously. He is a very good NBA player, and I think Raptors fans underappreciate him. Some of them, and it's really sad because in some ways, I don't want this to be something like where you don't realize what you have until it's gone. That some Raptors fans may be in that place. I realize what's going to happen if he leaves. It's not going to be good. It sucks. And Raptors fans that hate him and want him gone, you may come to a realization that you don't realize what you had until it's gone. And I don't want that for our fan nation. I really don't. Sue's here. Good to see Sue. Played again, Sue. Her YouTube channel is fantastic. Music reactions with her friends, Chelsea and the gang. Go ahead and give a subscribe to Played Again, Sue. I was so impressed with Darko. I loved the interview with Josh Lewenberg that he talked about wanting to be challenged by his staff, was big on communication, and wanted the team to have swag. Yeah. Yeah, those were a couple of things I like too, Sue. The thing about being challenged by his players and staff is important. Sometimes, if you're in a position of power and you're unchallengeable, well, you get blind spots and you get complacent. You don't get as good. Sounds like somebody from last year. You need people to be able to speak up and kind of say, coach, we should try and do it this way, or this would work better. And he's the humble guy that he won't take it to his ego. And that may have been a problem with our coach last year too, is his ego was getting in the way of things with other coaches on the staff telling him, Nick, if you did this, this would work. No, it's my way or the highway. We're just doing it the way I want to do it. Earl. Okay, Nick. All right, fine. We'll just do it your way. That kind of shit. Well, Darko's the kind of guy, if somebody, an assistant coach comes into his office, and especially if it's one of his people and he works well with them already, which it will be, obviously, because all of our staff's leaving, he will listen to them. He say, you know what, that's a great idea. You know what, I think we can try and implement this in this way. It may not be exactly what you think, but I'm going to take it and I'm going to spin a little bit in my head a little bit, and boom, we'll put it together in this as a hybrid. And then boom, we got this great new innovation for the team all of a sudden. That's the way smart people work. They are not the smartest person in the world, and they cannot be above reproach. They have to be somebody who can be talked to and given new ideas from people that they work with, and they incorporate them. And I love that aspect about him. And that's really, really good because that means he'll stay on the current trends of being up on that wave of the very cutting edge of the NBA in strategies and things that you're going to do as a coach. It's really, really, really good attitude to have. And I feel like Nick didn't have that last year. I feel like he was the end all be all in a lot of ways. And he's really big on communication. Obviously, Nick didn't have the best communication in certain ways as far as leaving not talking to anybody after the game. It seemed like a lot of times the players were disconnected from him and not really talking. There wasn't a line of communication in some ways between Nick and some of the Raptors last year. Well, Darko will never leave that kind of communication to go stale like that. He will always keep a healthy relationship with the players and staying on track and up to date with them and what's going on with them. He will never let that go away. It's just a part of how he does things. So I'm really happy about this. And the swagger, listen, if our guys had just a little bit more good feelings last year and dancing like my Memphis did in the hallways and stuff like that, they could have had 5 more wins last season. Sometimes you got to not underestimate the effect of energy and having feeling jubilant and kind of loose. That can add wins to your win total for the whole season just by being a little bit up and kind of positive instead of being morose and sitting on the bench like this and being like, well, this season's weird. I don't know what the hell's going on. That in itself can improve your win total. Just having a little bit of good feeling and positive around there. G saying people went from who to wow pretty quickly. That's what I'm saying. You got to give people a chance. You can't just go by the name. You can't just go by, oh, this took so long and everybody got all their coaches ahead and we lost our 2 best coaches to other teams. Yeah, that's all true. And you can look at it, but we got a really good coach now in replacement. And you heard what he said yesterday. And if you love the Raptors, you got to feel pretty good about having Coach Darko at the helm now. You got to, because, man, that dude said it. He hit it out of the park yesterday. That may have been one of the best introductory press conferences I've ever seen in sports. Seriously, it went perfect. Beautiful weather outside. Besides Masai's little jokes, besides that, Darko was on point, like 10 out of 10. Seriously, he answered everything very clearly, very on point. He did kind of avoid Michael Grange's question. Michael Grange's question was dumb. He's basically like, when did you guys meet? How long have you known each other? And Masai's like, well, I'd see him going back and forth around. I was a scout in Serbia, but he was too young at that time. It's like Masai was a scout in Serbia in like the 90s. And, he was he was very young at that point. Rajakovic, he was coaching the kids, and he was not like really well known at that point. So he didn't have any running into him while Masai worked in Serbia as a scout. Masai having experience in Serbia as a scout, that probably helped the process as far as Masai being such an international person. He can probably like connect with Darko on his roots from where he's from. But that's the thing is, it's gonna be excuse me, people are going to find out more and more about Darko, and they're going to be like, this is the good dude. This is a good dude. We found out a lot about him yesterday. It's fantastic. Infamous is saying, my head almost exploded when he said that he wants to limit the corner threes. Biggest smile on my face. I know he had a couple of those. I mean, obviously, he's gone and looked at our weaknesses from last year and where we can improve. And he's already kind of keying on those like a piano. Like he's playing that note. He's like, unity. It's not about me. It's about the team. I am going to go after the corner threes. I believe in protecting the paint. I believe in sharing the ball. I believe in like no isolation. I believe in passing it to the open guy out of the double team. It's like Raptors fans are like, whoa, 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 whoa. This is all stuff that makes sense to basketball. And now we have a coach that's actually going to do this shit instead of the fucking bullshit from Nick last year. Seriously? You're going to pass out of the double team? Oh my gosh. You're going to go and cover the corner threes better so we're not getting burned in the corner threes because we're running all over the place ragged and trying to just catch up to the corner threes? No, we're going to actually put an emphasis on stopping that area without having to run all over the place, half over this way, this way, this way. And then we finally try and get to them. Oh my gosh. Like there were probably a couple points where Raptor fans with different gripes from last year was like, okay, I like this guy because he just said the exact opposite of what we were doing last year that I hated. I hated that last year. And look what he just said. Oh my gosh, this guy is awesome. Country Con saying, good morning, Raptors freaks. I'm so excited with the hiring of our new coach. Let the Darko ages begin. Yes, I love that, Country Con. What an energizing press conference for our fan base to witness. Darko seems like the right guy. Yeah, they did their due diligence. Masai don't fuck around. You think he was fucking with us for the last month and a half, making us wait? He's going to get us a bad coach. No, he got us the absolute best coach we probably could have gotten this summer. In fact, this guy seems like if he was a fruit on a tree, he just ripened up to the right moment, just right now for us to pick that fruit and have him as our head coach on this team. As an assistant coach, he's been ripening up to get to this point to be ready to take over a team as a head coach. His former players all say he's ready. He knows how to coach. He can be a really good head coach in the NBA. Desmond Bane and all those guys. Yeah, they all believe in him, and the Grizzlies fans are even saying, we love you, Coach Darko. We wish you luck in Toronto, except for when you play the Grizzlies. So they want us to beat everybody around the country because in some ways their coaching tree looks real good. If Coach Darko comes to Toronto and kicks so much ass, that makes Memphis look good. So in some ways, Grizzlies fans are, once again, very much fans of us also, and vice versa. That happened with the Gasol Jonas trade. Obviously, we traded some very fan favorite players to each other. Well, Grizzlies fans had more of an affinity for Raptors when Marc Gasol was wearing the Raptors red. And we love them, too, for certain reasons also. With Canadians, Dylan Brooks and Jonas Valanciunas and things like that going on around their team. So, yeah, there's a little bit of a friendship between Grizz Nation and Raptors Nation, not just because of our Canadian roots in the NBA. Let's see. Wayne Strainer's here. Good to see Wayne down south. Always love seeing Raptor Freak Wayne Strainer in the comments. Good news mixed with challenging news. Rico not being here is not great, but we did have good seasons without him. Jamal, I hope, remains. If not on the bench, well, maybe front office, Jamal stays. Yeah, I think that's a given for sure, Wayne. I think everything you said there is exactly right. Now, the thing about Rico, some people are going to be happy he's gone because they're wondering if this whole like bad record of a team follows him. Because the thing with Sacramento was bad the whole time he was there. And then he leaves, and all of a sudden Sacramento makes the playoffs. We have a really bad year this year, the one year that Rico's here. Well, I don't know. We'll have to see if the Rico effect is real. Now that he is leaving, we can test it and see if we're going to be better next year. Well, maybe he did have something to do with it. I don't know. Rico may very much be a specialty coach. That Rico Hines runs and the stuff that they do with him over there is really a specialty. And in some ways, on an NBA team, maybe he isn't as helpful as we think he is. So we'll see. I think in some ways he's a name and he's really prestigious to have around. And he is good for the players as a mentor and like just a guy to motivate. But, let's not over embellish his importance to our team. This is not a huge, huge loss. It is a prestige loss, but it isn't something that's going to hurt us really, really super bad. Trust me, it won't. It won't. Let's see, but Jamal should be around still. I think it's already been a given. He's going to be the community ambassador if he's not utilized on the coach's bench. Monique saying Darko interview with Josh Lewinberg was top notch. Yeah, it was pretty good. Josh Lewinberg doing the good stuff again, getting a good interview with Darko in that room with all the Fred jerseys. G saying even Flynn posted Darko. He is happy that nursery is closed. That's right. I forgot. Malachi did post the Darko hiring also, so he's approving also. So let's see. We got 6 guys that were there. We got Boucher. We got Scotty. We got Malachi. That is like 10 of our guys approving of this coach's hire. That's a big chunk of our whole roster. And that's fantastic. That is fantastic. I love it. You go, Malachi. Malachi's seeing some sunshine up ahead for him now that Nick Nursery is gone. Oh, man, so good. M. Jones is saying, I was just worried that he didn't have a plan. He came in so competent, answers for everything we needed to hear after the year we had, and knows what he's going to implement. The excitement is back. There you go. M. Jones is feeling it. M. Jones has got that Raptor Freak fever. Yeah. M. Jones has got that Raptor Freak fever. I know a lot of people, that's the way you feel better. It's like, does this guy sound like he knows what he's doing? Does this guy have a plan? Does this guy have interesting ideas for what he can do with his team? He loves our roster, seriously. And we should all love our roster. Our roster is unique and really weird, but there's real strong strengths to it. And in some ways, I want to see how he uses the strengths of our length and athleticism and crazy positionless schemes that we can utilize. Darko could be very, very much the mad scientist that we need with all that kind of stuff, as far as just coming up with really innovative, cutting edge basketball kind of stuff, just like Nick did 5 years ago. That's what I'm saying. The Nick Nurse prestige and all the fame and all the things, it came fast and it came really quickly and very successfully, but it didn't sustain itself. And I think that more and more Raptors fans are realizing that part of the problem we've been having the last couple of years is that Nick's fizz has really worn off and that he's just not that hot shot anymore. Everybody's figured him out. He has kind of a creature of habit way of doing things. So they understand what he's going to do with his rotations and his schemes. And they all know what his defensive scheme was after the year we had with Scotty as a rookie. They saw it and they adjusted last year. And that's why it didn't do as well. And Nick did not adjust quick enough on top of that, changing it. That is getting left behind in the coaching game. In the realm of cutting edge coaches, Nick Nurse is getting left behind. And we're going to see it in Philadelphia this year. Watch. People are going to have him pegged and figured out for a whole bunch of stuff. Whereas Darko is completely unknown in a lot of ways. People are not going to know what he's going to be doing with our guys. There's going to be a new bag of tricks. And some people are going to be like, holy shit, the Raptors are doing this finally. We always worried that they might do this. And now they're actually doing this. I hope that's the kind of shit people are saying next year. Sue's saying, I also liked how Darko was talking about playing in an unselfish way with lots of passing. That ISO ball got so out of control at times last year, and it drove me nuts. Nick had certain ideas that did work. He cut down on turnovers by not passing the ball. That was very much on purpose. The isolation stuff was to cut down on turnovers. He figured they're passing around too much, there's more likely to get more turnovers. Well, Darko's going to be a little more daring, and maybe he'll be really smart with how we pass the ball around. There may be a really intricate system of how the protocol is, where what you got to do with what in which situation when this guy comes and hedges this or whatever, you get this to this. And it may be more daring with giving the ball more movement around our offense, and that is going to garner more stuff. In some ways, Nick suffocated it with his philosophy not to pass it because he didn't want the turnovers. He really cared a lot about the turnover race. Whether the Raptors had more turnovers than the other team. He wanted that other team to have double the turnovers that we had by really focusing on the turnovers, coughing them up on them with deflections and getting all on their ass and tiring our guys out. And then at the other end, we're not moving the ball at all, so they can't get any turnovers that way. Well, Darko may be a little more loose and daring with ball movement and not worrying about those turnovers as much. In fact, I've heard him say that basketball has turnovers. They're natural. They're just a part of the game. And he's not afraid of getting some turnovers. So it's going to be a different style next year, definitely. And it'll be more wide open and opened up. And hopefully that means, that, like you said, he wants these guys to trust each other more. Nick didn't enable trust because he really had them playing selfishly in an isolation kind of way without passing it. So, yeah, this is going to be a big deal. And Sue's exactly right. It drove me nuts, too, because you got to play off of each other. It's a team sport to get the best opportunities to shoot the best shots. Fiercely saying, interesting fact, many Raptors players like Darko's welcome post on IG. Scrolled through 7 Sixers posts of Nick Nurse. Nothing from the players. I'm telling you, it's different. It's a different thing. Nick Nurse has a reputation. And I don't know if everybody on the Sixers is thrilled he's there. I know James Harden probably isn't. I'm sure that Joel's kind of like, yeah, he had to be bought into it. In the beginning, Joel was probably like, I'm your guy. I'm going to kiss your ass, Joel. Don't worry. Okay, Nick, you're fine. I approve of Nick being here. He's going to kiss my ass. Okay, all right. Nick's cool. He can be here because he's going to kiss Joel's ass. If he doesn't kiss Joel's ass, he's fucking done there. Watch. Let's see. Daddy is here. Daddy Gates. Keep in mind how Memphis played when John Morant was out. In my opinion, they played better. And with technically no-name players, we will see a few players take a jump in development next season for sure. Yeah. More equitable, more opportunities, more all for one for all, and less just me. A lot of that. And you're exactly right, Gates. There was some really cool stuff with Memphis's offense in the last couple years. And this can really be directly linked to Darko's effect. That effect happened in Phoenix when he was there the stop before. So there is a real effect of Darko on offenses when he's around. Well, he's only an assistant in those two places where he's the whole director, the one in charge. Well, in some ways, he gets to try things without anybody else kind of like over him, telling him whether they're going to do it or not. That's part of the interesting thing, too, is that it's purely Darko. So we're going to have to see what he's going to decide for our offense. It's going to be fun. It's going to be really, really fun. And we are going to see better stuff out of those guys who were sitting in the front row at that press conference yesterday. Koloko, Delano, Jeff Doughton. Yeah, we're going to see better stuff from them next year. Trust. MSJ saying, good point on Flynn at G. Can Darko use his pick and roll game? And Nick Nurse never did. And in Philly, I'm thinking Nick Nurse will have a short stay. In the words of the Macho Man, don't buy any unripe bananas, Nick. Don't buy any unripe bananas. Oh, yeah. And when did he say that? I've never heard the Macho Man say that. Did he say that? Seriously? I'm going to have to find that promo where he says that. Don't buy any unripe bananas. Actually, you want them to be unripe because you can wait for them and then you can eat them. I don't know. I don't know if I agree with that statement, MSJ. That's hilarious, though. Macho Man said, don't buy any unripe bananas. I think this is right about Malachi specifically. That, listen, he's going to figure out every kind of strength Malachi has, and he's going to really enhance it. He's going to put it on stage. That's the thing. You want to put the guys out there to succeed. Well, let's play to their really good qualities instead of like hiding them or saying like, you just got to go out there and play the way I want you to, Malachi. Well, maybe there's things about Malachi that Darko will understand better than Nick did, and he'll put him in positions and situations where he can really excel and finally show the skill set that made Masai draft him ahead of Desmond Bain. Like, what if all of a sudden Malachi is better than Desmond Bain because Darko developed him just like he developed Desmond Bain? What if? Seriously, this is a what if that could be logically maybe true. They're drafted right around the same place in the draft. Masai picked him over Desmond. So he's like, there must have been something about Malachi that's just as good as Desmond Bain. I don't know. That may be the very best indicator of the difference between Nick Nurse and Darko next year is what happens with Flynn. Seriously, that may tell us everything we need to know about the coaching staff with the Nick Nurse in charge and the coaching staff with Darko in charge. Malachi Flynn. Let's see what happens next year. Seriously. G saying he talked about developing Bain and how he made him come out of his comfort zone, but showed full confidence in him. He is a huge reason for Bain's development. Yes. Yes, for sure. And Desmond would tell you that right away. Desmond's such a big, stocky, tough, kind of unemotionless kind of guy. He's very fiery, kind of tough, kind of mean looking guy. And he would be very much saying, yes, I owe so much to Coach Darko, that he did so much to help me to get to this point in my NBA career. So hopefully Malachi can be saying the same damn thing in a year or two from now. I'd love to see that. Troy Henry saying, my guy said if going to be it's going to be fun because his wife woke up and saw the early sunrise and said that this is better than New York. So already they're in love with the city. I love that, Troy Henry. That's exactly what he said. That's true. He said his wife woke up and saw the early sunrise. He said she got up at like 5 in the morning and the sun was already up or something like it was like 6 in the morning or something like that. And she said it was so beautiful on the city. The city looked more beautiful than New York. And like it was like, this is good, guys. This is what he said. This is good, guys. The wife likes it. Darko's awesome. Happy wife, happy life. Oh yeah, you know it, Darko. She's gonna have so much fun here in Toronto with the Serbian community. If y'all want to be around your culture here in Toronto, we got it, baby. We got it. You may have been in Oklahoma City at one point. You may have been in Phoenix. You may have been in Memphis. But you're going to find enough Serbian community here in Toronto, Rajakovic. Trust me, you will have a feeling of home here with your community here, very much embracing you and loving that you're here. Such a prestigious position of the Raptors head coach being held by a Serbian guy. Yeah, yeah, she's going to be very much at home here. And I hope she sees so many sunrises for years and years to come here in Toronto with us. And her husband is the coach for many, many years to come. Yes, Troy Henry, always good to see you, my good friend. Troy Henry, one of the original Raptor freaks. Canadian Cowboys saying Masai checks all the boxes, and one of them is a coffin with Nurse in it. Woo, Bradley, wow. Well, saying, hey, Nurse, is it to Darko in there for you? Listen, it's sad what's happened with Nick. And, listen, I want to say this real quick. Monty Williams, they found out yesterday, he disclosed that his wife has breast cancer. And this was part of the reason why he was thinking about not coming back to coach next season. And that Detroit threw extra money at him. And also things like he's getting a private jet to fly back and forth with his wife is necessary for things that she needs done to battle this fight against breast cancer. And as Savannah Hamilton posted on Twitter yesterday, he said, listen, y'all, you got to understand these guys are going through things sometimes on the download that we don't understand and that nobody knows about, like Monty with this issue with his wife and her breast cancer diagnosis. Well, in some ways, I feel like she's inferring that Nick has been going through things that we don't understand either. And I once again, anything that personally happened to Nick Nurse this year, as far as with his family, as far as health concerns, as far as anything like that outside of basketball, I feel for you, Nick Nurse. And I honestly, I love you, man. I love you because you're the coach that coached the Raptors to their first championship. And I love you for your part in our history. And anything that happened in a bad way, non-basketball related last year, my heart is with you and I support and love for you, Nick, no matter what. I can talk all this bullshit about you being on Philadelphia and hating you for that. But I still love you as a human being first and foremost. I don't want to get it twisted. And if there were things that happened this past year personally that were super difficult for whatever reason, well, I will feel bad in some ways for coming after Nick so much. So I want to delineate the difference between this because in Raptors Nation, people need to be like this. It's like if Nick had some tragedies happening around him personally that affected what happened last year, well, my heart goes out to him. But if there was nothing and it was just exactly what it looks like, fuck you, Nick. Because, yeah, whatever. But I don't know. And as Savannah said, we don't know what's going on with these guys on the download, just like with Monty and his wife. So I don't want anything bad for Nick in that kind of way. So on top of what Bradley just said with the coffin, that's what I'll say instead. G saying, MSJ, I feel Darko already has a good idea of how to utilize players. And yes, Flynn was known for his pick and roll, so would love for him to give it a chance with Flynn, work his strengths. Yes. It sounds like the strengths of Flynn are the strengths of Darko. Yes, pick and roll theory. Jakapel. Yes, that is the guy we want with those kind of things happening, whether it's Fred, Malachi, Scotty, Pascal, OG, let's just try all these different combinations of pick and rolls that we can get away with. Scotty can be the roller also. You don't have to have Jakob out there to do this. Scotty's got a big, nice, wide frame that could set a nice pick and roll off to the basket and do the same kind of thing. You can also pass out of that high post really nicely too, like a Marc Gasol or a Jakob Poeltl. There's a lot of interesting combinations of pick and roll that Darko can kind of scheme with all of our guys. And I'm very excited about that stuff. Maybe even pick and rolls with a lot of pick and rolls with Koloko and Precious and things like that. So yeah, I'm really excited about this. And I hope that we see the fruits of Malachi Flynn more and more this season. We unlock him. We need to unlock Malachi. Monique is saying, can get a 10-hour episode on Open Gym about Darko. I know they probably could do a movie series. It could be like a mini series on NBC, the Darko mini series on NBC, a 5-part, 3-hour each part, 5 times 3, 15-hour event this week, Monday through Friday, every night, prime time, Darko, the story. I think you're right, Monique. They could have a whole season just on Darko, probably. Dana loves the butthole face. Now, Dana, the emoticon, the official emoticon of the butthole face is that orange one with the gougy eye. So if you find that emoticon in the emoticons, it's the orange one with the eye that's like, that's the butthole face. That's the official butthole face. I see you laughing about it, though. Mike is saying, salute the real ones, Project Truth. Always. He just woke up. Good morning to Mike. He's got to fight that Project Truth late into the night, so he's sleeping in. Good stuff, Mike, with the Fred VanVleet stuff. I watched it yesterday. Always good stuff from Mike. Check out Logical Raptors Fanatic. Great YouTube channel, once again, on Raptors stuff. M. Jones saying, Paul Jones is a corporate sucker. I will never, ever forget how he coined LeBronto. Get him out of here, please. I like Paul. In some ways, Paul is a good person to have around. But yeah, I don't like that he called it Maple Leaf Square. This is not a Leafs event. It can be Maple Leaf Square when there's blue worn around that square. That's fine. We can share it with them. It's a timeshare, just like a beach house. Different people go out there and stay there on different weekends. Well, that's Jurassic Park when it's red and black, Paul Jones. You remember that. It's not Maple Leaf Square when the Raptors are involved. And did he coin LeBronto? Well, I'll say fuck you to Paul Jones if you made up you coined that phrase. That's a horrible thing to make up, Paul Jones. Oh my gosh. Fiercely saying, I'd be surprised if Rico joined Nick Nurse in Philly as he's tight with Earl, unless it's really a business decision. Also, it may be better to look to hold his runs without being linked to a specific team. Yeah, I mean, Sixers fans are real crazy today. They're like, Rico's coming, and we're going to have all the Sixers at Rico Hines runs this summer, just like the Raptors were there last year. I don't know. I think you're right, Fiercey. In some ways, Rico may be better off being a freelance. Lethal Shooter does this. You may want to be like Lethal Shooter, Rico, and just be a specialist that people can be for hire. You're not tethered to one specific franchise, but you can be called in at different times, just like Lethal Shooter, and do little workshops with teams from here and there. That may be more money in some ways if you do it that way than being under contract for a whole year with one team. And it also gives you freedom to be all over the place and do whatever you want when you want. So I advise that. I think that if Nick Nurse and Earl Watson aren't cool with each other, then Rico shouldn't go to Philadelphia. That's not a cool thing to do to your buddy Earl. Let's just put it that way. Now, if Earl is all of a sudden on the staff with Nick in Philadelphia, I'll be like, what the fuck happened last year then? Like, what happened? Why are these guys? What's going on here? Let's see. Kenny's here. Good to see Kenny, one of the original Raptor freaks from the first year. Always good to see Kenny. I'm happy he met with the young core. That's right. He met with all of them. He's talked to all these guys on the phone. I'll be very curious to see what he said to Pascal, what he said to OG, what he said to Gary Trent Jr. This is an interesting situation. Gary Trent Jr. is not in a hurry to opt out. We've seen, Fred opt out right away. Well, Gary's got till the 20th, and it is the 14th today. He has that until then. And is he going to opt out after all? He may not. And we may have Gary just coming to us with the money's already owed. I would love that. Please, Gary, don't opt out. Just stick around with the Raptors and get your value up under Coach Darko this year coming up. And then boom, all of a sudden you get a better contract next summer. So Gary, you may want to just stay on that contract and not opt out. You haven't done it yet. And I think that in some ways is telling right now, guys. Have we heard Gary Trent opt out like Fred? No, we have not. We have not heard that yet. G saying Sergio Scariolo was a friend and mentor to Darko. Yeah, this may mean that Sergio will return to the Raptors. Maybe he is going to be on our assistant coach staff as far as like one of the people underneath him. And that would help Darko with being more familiar with everything because he was here before. That could happen. It won't happen until after Sergio's done with all this stuff. We'll have to see. It's a long shot, but it is still possible. There's obviously a working relationship between Sergio and Darko that would fit real nice. Trevor J is saying, all you got to do is win, 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 no matter what. W. Darko, which Darko on the Raptors never give him up because all we're going to do is win, 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 no matter what. Yeah, I'm about this. I mean, it's kind of like long lost friends that met each other. Like they're supposed to be friends and you know that they just click right away. When you meet somebody new and you're like, this person's vibe totally gets along with my vibe really good. I think that's how it went when they got on the phone with Darko in this coach's search. It could have been like, hey, Darko, we want to interview you for the Raptors job. Oh, great, Messiah. I've been so looking forward to maybe possibly hearing your call. I am so thrilled and it's such an honor that you want to even consider me for the job. Oh, Darko, you're such a nice guy. It's an instant rapport. And then like they do a little discovery and they find out, well, your values very much line up with my values exactly. Your organization sounds like an extremely good fit for me and my wife and my family. You guys seem like you really have the same things that I really cherish and feel like are important here in your institution of the Toronto Raptors. It's like an instant fit. It's like chemistry already. Like we're birds of a feather. We didn't realize it, but we figured it out. You like to say the word win? I do. I love saying that word, Darko. You're going to fit right in. Yeah, stuff like that. All right, let's see. David saying, has Fred signed with Philly yet? No, nothing's going to happen until the 1st. We got to remember the rules of free agency are nobody can do nothing until the 1st of July. So there's not going to be anything from Fred for a couple of weeks. He's going to be in this weird limbo purgatory for a little while. And we'll see what happens. It could very well be at midnight on July the 1st. Fred gets signed by somebody right away. And then they'll do an investigation and say, why did this signing happen so quickly at midnight? You're losing your draft pick, Philadelphia. It'd be that kind of shit. Like last summer when they took away the draft pick from Chicago. And I think, what was the other team? It was Philadelphia for messing around and talking to people early. Yeah, go ahead and step in that, Philly. Get too early, too cozy with Fred early. Maybe there's already something on tape of Fred and Nick talking about it. We can put it out there and say, you see, they colluded. You lose your draft pick, Philadelphia. They talked about it before July the 1st. That's such a dumb rule. I don't think that rule should exist, honestly. This arbitrary time and all this stuff. You guys are fucking so naive. You don't think that people are talking about where people are going to move already, NBA. Like, seriously, how do you control this? How do you control this? Just let them do what they do and stop penalizing teams for this. Even though you penalize teams that weren't the Raptors and it hurt, it's still a dumb thing. People are going to negotiate, pre-negotiate and stuff like that. It's just going to happen. The time of midnight on July the 1st is arbitrary and shouldn't really matter. Let's just put it that way. All right, let's keep going. Monique is saying, Doug, you were so silly with your question for Darko. Listen, the reporters at that press conference yesterday, they said congratulations first before their question. Those are the ones that are good ones. You can tell who was good and not. Some of them were just kind of like, hello, Darko, I'm Doug Smith from Toronto Star. And then he just goes right in his question. You don't even fucking welcome him or say, congratulations, you got the job. That's a real easy way to see who you like in the press. Like him and Michael Grange were the two first questions, and they were assholes. And then you heard like Oren Weisfeld, congratulations, coach. Samson Folk, congratulations. These guys they're rude. Doug Smith and Michael Grange. They don't even fucking say congratulations, Darko. You can't even say that, Doug Smith, you old head motherfucker. Yeah, seriously. Shirkan saying, good morning, Raptor Freak family. I love the first impressions. Our young dudes are hungry for playing time, so everything Darko says is music to their ears. This is what was missing past 2 years. Someone who cares about development, somebody who excites them, somebody who gives them a spirit to live, somebody who gets them like wanting to get up out of the bed every morning because they're enthusiastic and they're excited about what coach is going to have them do. That's what I was missing. I think last year everybody was kind of just going through the motions, being pro and trying to keep it together. And everybody's heart wasn't really into it. Well, we got to get the hearts back into this, and Darko's the one who can get the hearts back into this. We're getting everybody revigorated with enthusiasm and positivity and the promise of what could be possible. And I think the players and the fans both feel this right now from what they heard yesterday. Well, let's see if it's more than just words, if it's in practice and in actions in the months leading up the season, and then what we see in the results on the court. So I feel real good. He said all the right things to me. And if he's not full of shit and he is who he is and what he said he was yesterday, we're going to be fine. We're going to be real good. Darko Rajakovic is going to be a Raptors coach in the history that's going to be very much celebrated and loved in the years to come. Trust me. You're going to see that. You're going to see that. Let's see. Love to see Shere Khan in here, by the way. Mike is saying the bad stuff is the flip-flopping fans and media. That's what Mike's saying. Okay, when Masai said, oh, until he finds out the bad stuff, that's what you think it is? The flip-flopping fans and media? Well, take the fans out of there. Honestly, fans are, listen, they don't even look at us the way we look at each other within the fan nation. They don't. Because it's basically like this. As a player, all right, let's take Thad Young and Shanika Young right now. The online, they get a lot of bullshit from people. Like recently, they found out that Thad Young made $143 million in his NBA career. And some people saying, how the fuck does a player like that get that much money? And they're being hateful. Well, they do not consider these people fans, obviously. They consider these people trolls and assholes online. They don't factor them in as Raptor fans. They're just people that are online just causing noise and bullshit. Well, that's the same thing for people that are quote unquote Raptors fans in our fan nation or in our nation. I shouldn't even call them fans. They don't consider them fans. So when people are coming at them online and saying negative shit like Pensair and his sites with Fred, he doesn't consider those people Raptors fans. Those are just assholes, toxic assholes online. So, Mike, we got to make this distinction. The players really look at it this way. The fans are the people who come at them with love. The fans are the ones who come up to them in public and want to get their picture taken and say, we love you, go Raptors. The fans are not the people on social media that are talking out of their ass all the time. They realize that. And they can very much clearly make the distinction. This is a fan and this is not a fan. And they may say they're fans online, social media, the negative people, but the players and everybody else don't look at them that way. You know, you're just a little troll. You're a negative, sad person online. That's how they look at it. So don't get it twisted that they paint our whole fan nation just because of the people we deal with in the fight for Project Truth. They can see us and they'll say, these guys are fans. But they can go see them and they'll be like, these aren't fans. These are assholes. And they really can look at it that way and separate it that way. So just so you know, Mike, that's not part of the bad stuff. Now, the media part, that's true. Yeah, he may have to deal with some stupid ass questions from people in the media scrum. Sure. And that may be right. That's part of the bad stuff. I don't know what Masai means with the bad stuff. What is the bad stuff? Seriously, Masai, what is the bad stuff? Seriously, I want a list. Send me a list, Masai. G saying our phones are going to be blowing up with the new assistant coaches and staff joining. I can't wait to find out the names. And we will cover that all kinds of ways here. If you want to know who these people are that we hire for our assistant coach staff, this is the channel you want to be watching because I will do the deep dive and get all the dirt and the details on these people coming in so that you will know exactly what their roles are and their backgrounds and who they are. So subscribe to the RaptorSfreak channel because I will be keeping up on it day to day. You know I will. And I will have that all for you guys when you come in. We'll share it. Let's see. Cowboy's saying, did you get Darko's number yet? You know what? Darko actually showed up on the channel yesterday, Bradley. We are so fortunate, Raptors Nation, that we have Darko Rajakovic as a fan of this channel already. He came in and gave a comment on the trivia from yesterday. And he said, I found your channel and I'm so happy to see you guys here. I'm so happy to see Darko Rajakovic here also. I'm sure he, is nameless, but I don't know if it's nameless or not. It could be Buckthorn. I don't see nameless here today. So it could be that we have a new persona for nameless and it's going to be Darko. So if he's Darko and he's in here and he's going to be Darko, I'm okay. I'll treat him like Darko. I'm that kind of person to say, you can lie to me. All y'all could lie to me every day and I wouldn't know. I just have to play dumb and just say, yeah, you are exactly who you are and what you're saying. You can troll the hell out of me. I'll play that dumb. Shame on you for trolling an innocent assuming guy who's just trying to, believe everybody at their face value. So if you come in and tell me you're Darko Rajakovic, then the chance that you are, I will treat you with the respect that you are, just in case. And I won't treat it like you're a troll trying to troll me. I'll just go along with it. You want me to go along with it? I'll go along with it. I have no problem with that. I call fake calls all the time to the Raptors. So why wouldn't I interact with Darko Rajakovic in this chat? Or Vince McMahon in the past. And we had Vince McMahon in here for a while. Remember Vince McMahon used to come on this channel? And we had Victor on here too. No, not Victor. It was Chet. We had Chet Holmgren coming into our chat last year. And remember how I used to talk to Chet? So I don't mind celebrity appearances in here, even if it's not them. So Darko, you want to come in and talk to us directly? I'm all about it. He's apparently going to be here in the chat with us, Bradley. I don't need to call him. So David's saying, Cowboy, did you find that fantasy team of yours? Oh my gosh. Look at David talking trash. Listen, David, first night of the WNBA matchup this week. You had a lot of players playing last night with so many Las Vegas Aces and Sparks and stuff. Well, we had a good matchup, and I only had 3 people playing. It's pretty close. I mean, this is going to be a good matchup between David and I in the WNBA this week. I'm coming. You may have more players playing this week, but I'm going to beat you by the end of it because I got better players over the long haul. Watch. Race Mode's here. Good to see Race Mode Daily. Edmund. Lex, did you talk to Nick Nurse after his press conference? Laugh out loud. No, I don't talk to Nick Nurse. I got rid of his phone number. I blocked him. He's dead to me. I ain't got no reason to talk to him. If I want to talk to him, I'll talk to him through this channel and say, fuck you. Fuck you, Nick Nurse. And that's all I'll do. That's what I'll say there. There you go. G saying, where's the professional going to get a Darko jersey and wear it when we play against Philly? Yeah, get a Darko jersey, G. And you can be just like the professional with his Nick Nurse Philadelphia jersey. I think that's so weird. Did we ever see a Raptors fan run around in a Nick Nurse Toronto Raptors jersey? Have y'all seen somebody wearing a Nick Nurse jersey ever? Seriously, tell me if you have. Because Sixers fans are already getting Nick Nurse Philly jerseys down there, custom made. Hilarious. Cool Cat saying Rico Hines is joining Nick Nurse as an assistant coach for Nick Nurse. Rico is now an assistant coach. Guess he's building his coaching career. Okay, is that breaking right now? As far as you see it right now, Cool Cat? Let me see. I want to go see what's going on with Nick Nurse and Rico Hines. Did he go and join him, just like Grange said? Let's see. Yep, there it is. Woj just said that Rico Hines is joining the Sixers as an assistant on Nick Nurse's coaching staff, sources tell ESPN. Hines had been a part of Nurse's staff with the Raptors. Hines is a former player development coach who has worked with his way to the front of the bench assistant. Okay, so he's giving him assistant coach job he gave him a promotion to get him to come with him there. Well, fuck, Rico. He really liked you, guy. But now you're going to be going there. And listen, this may be part of how they're going to try and keep James Harden, because we know Rico Hines has a close relationship with James Harden, that they know that this may be part of how they're trying to keep Harden in Philadelphia. I hate this. I hate this so much. This is legit now. Rico, what the fuck, man? You got to go the way of Nick. Well, you're in the same boat with him, then you're dead to me. I'm sorry, Rico. That's just how it has to go. And meanwhile, Lewinberg saying right after that, outside the longtime player development coach Jim Sand, who remains in Toronto, thank God. The Raptors are essentially starting from scratch and building a staff under new head coach Darko. So, okay, there's confirmation from Lou that at least Jim Sand is still sticking around. Fuck, Rico, why'd you have to do this, man? This is messed up. And I get it. He gave you a promotion to the bench. Now you're going to be sitting up front with him. You may be sitting in Earl's spot next to Nick next year. It may be Earl, instead of Earl sitting there, it's going to be Rico sitting next to him. What the fuck, man? How does Earl feel about this? Is Earl going there too? Is this part of it? Is like Earl Watson still cool with Nick or something? I don't know. Whatever's going on with y'all take your toxic coaching all on to Philadelphia. And Rico, if you got that losing to you, that losing twinge, go ahead and bring it on into Philly. And you guys can go ahead and be a below 500 team in that city now. Yeah, because that's what hopefully Rico Hines does bring, the losing effect. So, yeah, okay. I hate that, Cool Cat. Thanks for bringing that. I know you hate it, too, because you're a huge Pascal fan. And Pascal's guy, Rico, going to Philadelphia. What the fuck is that? Seriously. What the fuck is that, Rico? Seriously, I'm so disappointed in you. And fuck you, Michael Grange, for being right. Damn it. MSJ saying, gee, I'm not much of a Flynn fan, but you have to get the most out of the players you have. I was always confused as to why Nick Nurse never put Flynn in much pick and rolls. So my mind is open to Flynn again under Darko. All right, there we go. See, that's what I'm saying. We reclamation our own guy because we got a different coach in that will reclaim him instead of getting somebody from another team like Gary Trent and making them even better. Well, we're just going to get a reclamation on a guy who's already been here. Dana's saying to Cool Cat, well, they can go kick rocks then. That's right. That's right. Rico, okay, fine. You made your decision. Go ahead and go to the dark side of the Sixers. Ah, that's so messed up. Well, I'm just going to have to, instead of building up your legend and telling everybody how great you are, I'm going to start talking about all your weaknesses now. That's what I do. I'm doing it to Nick Nurse now. So, Rico, get ready. You're going to get it from me too. All right. Cool Cat's saying Coach Rico Hines is now on the front row bench of coaching and no longer the back bench for player development only. I wonder if Pascal might go Sixers and join his Cameroon countryman Embiid. Well, no, and no. It doesn't make any sense. It's not like Pascal can just move freely like Rico can. Rico has a lot more easy, fluid movement. Pascal doesn't have this, even if he would want to do this, which I don't think he would, honestly, Cool Cat. Honestly, he's programmed to hate the Sixers. And he probably doesn't want to go there. Seriously, even though Rico went there, once again, Siakam's had him as his offseason coach, and he's been a part of the Kings for years and years. Just because Rico goes somewhere doesn't mean that Pascal's following him, and it doesn't mean that he won't still work with him. I'm sure he's still going to work with him very, very closely, but it is a little worrisome that now his personal development trainer from the offseason is going to be on the bench of an arch enemy in our division. Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like the whole thing about this. Pascal ends up leaving because of all this in some sort of way, in some sort of weirdness. So be it. Once again, I'm a Raptors fan. I'll go with whatever we got here in Toronto and whoever's here, whether it's Fred, Gary, Pascal, whoever. I'm with the team that stays here and I'm rooting for them. But I don't think Pascal's going anywhere. Nameless saying Canadian Cowboy, real as fuck. Pensier calling out Lex. What a loser that guy is. What? Did Pensier call me out? I don't know what happened. Whatever. They can talk whatever they want. Hey, any publicity is good publicity. If he's going to talk about me, maybe people on Pensier need to know the alternative to Pensier. And that's a Raptor Freak channel. Yeah, that's cool, man. Yeah. All right, Nameless. Wait, did you switch back? You're not Darko Rajakovic? I'm confused here. Wait, is it viewer? What? Whoa, wait. What? Nameless? Darko? I don't know. David saying Pensier called out Lex. Let's go smash that goof. Hey, if he did, I'm all about it. I don't mind. Like I said, he actually has more followers. So he's giving me publicity. That's his own damn fault. I don't even like saying his name on this channel for that reason. So if he's mentioning me on his channel, I'm not upset about that, even if it's negative. I have big boy feelings. I don't get hurt by that kind of shit. I really don't. Somebody told me yesterday in this stream for the press conference, I was in there live, fighting the good fight, Project Truth, Monique, Fiercey, Cool Cat, Logical Raptors Fanatic. We were all in there. Tom Duke, a bunch of us, and Kareem Thomas. And we were fighting the good fight of positivity in there. And somebody told me at one point, how old are you, Raptors Freak? 14. Maybe mentally a little bit 14. I think that's a fair thing to say, but I laughed at him. I was like, oh, man, if I was 14 again, oh my gosh, I'd have a pretty interesting life with this knowledge base that I have at 47 if I was still 14. That'd be crazy. Fiercely saying Jakob is one of the players who liked Darko's post on Instagram. There we go. There we go. These are the signs. I'm telling you, thank you, Fiercely, for that report. These are the signs. This is very much approved by the Raptors roster, the new hiring of Darko. Very, very good. Sue saying, apparently Darko wrote a series of articles about the evolution of pick and roll. So he's very analytical, flexible, and intelligent. He's the kind of guy that he'll keep trying things and he knows there'll be failure, but he will keep working through it to find success. And that he's not stubborn enough to hold on to something and just try and make it work no matter what. He'll listen to other ideas from other people, as he said. And also he's willing to be flexible and change things, as Sue has said here. And that is really, really important in the ever-changing world and landscape of the NBA, is to be light on your feet and not so stuck in your ways. And Darko's not like that. He seems like he changes with things and ideas that are presented to him as time goes on. So that is really, really good quality in a coach. We want him to be fluid and flexible with his philosophies. And what may work today may not work tomorrow. And that may be long-term success because that coach is like that. So Logical saying, if Rico is leaving and going with Nick, it seems Darko wants to run practices differently and Rico wasn't needed.
whereas Nick's hands-off approach still works for Rico to run practices, in my opinion. Unexpected. It is what it is, Mike. It's confirmed now because the Woj bomb has been put out. And Lewinberg at least is doing damage control and telling us at least Jim Sand will still be around, y'all. So at least Jim is for sure going to be around the Raptors for sure. Well, it is what it is. Maybe we do need this fully clean slate. Maybe Uncle Rico just needed to go and be an uncle to the Sixers and help out Nick. And I think Mike's right with the differences in philosophy. It may be that Darko wants to run those practices himself. It's like, I'm the development coach, Rico. I do not need you at this point because I do what you do myself. And you maybe Nick needs you over there. Yeah, you can go over there. And that's just how it is. I hate that he went to Philly, though. You could have gone different places. This is a bad look, Rico. Bad look. Cowboys saying, laughing out loud at Saborin. Yeah, sorry if I've been so busy with my work, my newborn son, and my peppers. Why I'm in last place again. And I agree, logical. The bad is the flip-flop fans. They're toxic. Bradley, the important things in your life are your work and your family and your peppers. And I get that. And, listen, what? You can't keep up with WNBA fantasy. That's no big deal. Let David talk shit. I'll beat his ass for you this week. How about that? Yeah. Don't worry about it, Cowboy. Just stay good in what you're doing. David's saying, oh, yeah, you get those fire peppers. Good time of the year. Nice to see you, bud. Happy everything is going well with you. There we go. It's all friendly competition, a little shit talking. David, you're going to lose this week. That's right. Van Hoot saying it's official. Rico joining Nurse just announced. Fuck that shit. Mischief, good morning to see you. Isaac Campbell saying, good people. Like and subscribe. I appreciate that from the benevolent Isaac Campbell. Monique is saying, I'm getting so much feedback on my takeaways about Darko via Instagram and Facebook. Well, that's what I'm saying. People like you, Mike, me, we need to be out there and giving the information to the people because they don't know who Darko is. So, Monique, you are playing a very essential role in Raptors Nation of being information person. You can give information to people and they can learn from you. And in some ways, that's powerful. We need to shape the information to help the Raptors and not hurt the Raptors. And that's part of the reason why, people that are not shaping their information to help the Raptors, fuck you. I don't want you around me. I won't watch your shit. I want positive Raptors content and people that are giving me the truth about what could be possible with this team in a positive way, not telling us how everything's going to be worse. And that's why you're awesome, Monique, because you do it in that way that I just described, the best way, the positive way. Nako saying, I got some bad news. It is what it is, Nako. Let him go. Whatever, Rico Hines, whatever. You're in some ways, you're just a name, bro. Seriously, you're just a name in some ways. Sure, you go ahead and do all this stuff. But in a lot of things, it's your name is really what's the value in a lot of things. I don't know how much you developed our guys last year. Seriously. I don't know. Our development was shitty last year. For having one of the best development coaches and Nick Nurse, we did not have good development last year. I'm just saying. Let's see. Country Kong saying Darko seems like a cool guy. He dresses real sharp too, kind of like Nick when he first hired him. I really like the way he talks about basketball. I could not be more excited for next season to begin. I love that. Country Kong is getting back into the feeling the Raptor Freak positive vibes about good things coming down the road for the franchise. Yeah, they made that rule change about the coaches don't have to wear suits, but everybody's kind of like, we miss the coaches looking dressed up and wearing suits. Well, Darko looks like the guy that he would wear the suit even if he's not required to. Because he does. He looks real dapper and he just looks right in it. He looks like a European coach, how they would coach over there. They made that rule. And listen, Nick may have looked sharp when he showed up, but he hated it. He was so against that suit rule. In fact, he may have been one of the people that pushed against having it and made it so that they could all wear their shirts and be more casual. Nick loves that much more. He's on record for saying this, that he hated wearing the suits all the time and that he really loves wearing the collared shirts the way it is now. Well, Darko, he dressed real nice, and I'll bet you he wears a suit even if he's not required to. You may see him show up to games wearing a suit just to show another level of professionalism and seriousness about what he's doing against the other coaches who are still going to be wearing their little khaki shorts, pants, and their little collared shirts. I'm telling you, this could be true because he looked real good. See, David's all about this. David was like, let's get rid of Rico. He was saying this a couple of days ago when he got his wish. Bye, Rico. Next is what David's saying. He's not upset about this. He's not broken up about this. In fact, he wanted him gone 2 days ago. He specifically said, I want Rico gone. I remember David said that. MSJ saying, who cares about winning a chip next year? Good fans of basketball want to see the team going in the right direction, seeing growth in the team. That's all I want next year. Something to get excited about. Yeah, this all or nothing fan base, the people in our fan nation that are all about all or nothing, they really believe this myth. This was true for a while, and this may have been true in the old NBA, but it's not anymore. And this is what I got to tell the casuals right now. This worry about being a mid 500 team in the new NBA is gone. It's not something that we should be worried about anymore. 5 years ago, sure, it was different then, but y'all aren't paying attention or are not up to speed on the wave of the future with the NBA. It's parity. And parity means you can be a 500 team and rise up and win a championship. Seriously, any team can win the championship next year. There's no guarantee that Denver will repeat. There's wide open for anybody. And because the league has more parity with some of the rules and the changes, it really is this kind of way where you don't have to build a super team like Golden State used to be to absolutely compete. That's the thing that everybody's still working off of, the old way it was. You got a tank to get a high draft pick so that you have a difference maker that comes in as a high draft pick, and boom, all of a sudden you're like Victor and the Spurs are going to be this year. And that's how you compete. You make that leap. Sure, that's one way to do it, but it's not very common, and it's not going to be a guaranteed way to do it. You can draft somebody high and it could be a bust and you don't get anywhere and you're just as bad or even worse than you were when that happened. So what I'm saying is Denver's way of winning the championship, the way they built their team up and trial and failure over and over again, and then finally hitting it and getting it and sticking with their guys is the smart way to win in this league. That you think, oh, if you're only a 500 team like the Raptors were last year, that you're doomed to be that for years to come. Well, this is the NBA parity, baby. And this has shown up just this past year. It's going to be fine because you can be a mid-level team and you can improve and jump into being a championship contender now. It may have not been possible 10 years ago because there was real bad issues with the parity in the NBA. It was either the haves and the have-nots. And it was very true at that point, but it's changed. So I'm going to ask Raptors Nation to stop this mentality that if you're mid, you can't get anywhere in the NBA. That's not true anymore. The parity has changed everything. And we could be a 500 team last year, keep this core, have a new coach come in, get better results from them, and boom, all of a sudden we're a championship contender again. But the part of what MSJ is saying here that I love the most is it's not about winning the chip next year. It's about getting better and better and better and building towards the chip. That y'all want it so quick and so fast. There's no easy answers. There's no easy route to get an NBA championship just like that. That shit with Kawhi in some ways was very lucky, but it was built up. Half of it was built up. Half of it was a brilliant GM move, and half of it was built up in the years of Kyle and DeMar up to that point, to get to that point. So we got to build up again. So anybody who's like championship or bust in their mentality, just stop it. We can have an improvement over a 500 season from last year, and we will be very successful this year coming up. In fact, if we have an above 500 year, I'm going to say whatever Darko does this year is a success. He could win 42 games next season. I'm going to say it's a success over what Nick Nurse did the year before because he had one game improvement. And that's all we want. We want to improve and see better things happen. He's going to have a way better improvement than just one game. Trust me. Trust me, he's going to be an above 500 coach, and the Raptors will be fighting for a playoff spot, not a play-in spot. I really do believe this. We'll be in the 6th or 5th seed by the end of the year. Watch. Yeah, kick rocks, Rico. That's right. Dana's telling you to kick rocks. Go on now. Get on out of the country and go on and get to Philadelphia. Let's see. Yeah, Rico's gone, Monique. That's what they said. Rico's in Philly. It's official. Rico is in Philly. Rico who? Isaac saying, Rico who? What? Rico? What? A Space Cadet saying, I'm going to need Fred to resign so all the Twitter babies can have a collective meltdown. I know. It'll be hilarious, Space Cadet. Let's get that popcorn and watch. Oh, Fred resigned. And they're paying him $30 million a year? Oh, my gosh. Why would they tie up so much money in little Freddie for so long? He's going to be washed in 2 years. Okay. Yeah, bet on yourself. Bet on Fred ain't going to be washed in 2 years. And if Masai and Bobby put money invested in him that goes past 2 years, you think that they're going to do that if they think he's going to be no good by that time? No, they don't make mistakes like that. And I'm with you, Space Cadet. I'll be with you too. I'll be standing right next to you, watching them, laughing at them as they go through hell. Maybe Pensaire's channel will matter next year because Fred will still be on the team. I love when Pensier's mad because Fred's still around on the team. That's awesome. Cowboy saying it's funny, David. I was up late last night and he was live and I got blocked by him. Cowboy got blocked by Pensier. Oh no, I kept texting Raptor Freaks 930 for real fans. I love to see that punk on the street. Hilarious. Yes, Bradley represented. He infiltrated Pensier's live stream and started spamming me. Bradley, you're a real one. I love you, Bradley. That's so awesome. Okay, so that's why he was talking about me, because Bradley was putting me in his face. I love that, Cowboy. You're so awesome. And I love that you brought Iceman in here. Seriously. That was a big deal that you talked to Iceman like Gervin, and he's in our chat now. I really appreciate Iceman being here. Seriously. I have immense respect for you, Iceman like Gervin. Not only do you have a name that I know you know basketball, because I love George Gervin. I'm a huge Spurs fan. That's my West Coast team. And I will be talking about Wemby a lot this year coming up and his success. I will be very happy for. And if you're a Spurs fan, also Iceman like Gervin, we have the same heart. And listen, George Gervin was amazing. He's such a great player with his finger rolls. And the fact that Bradley, he said that someone said Anya told you to come here. Well, Anya's Bradley. And I really appreciate Bradley for getting you to come in here. Because seriously, I watched you in the Raptors Tonight streams, and all your comments were hilarious to me. And I love how you were putting it on them with the Minutes Police every time. And your interaction with Raptors Tonight last year was just gold. And just having you in here, seriously, it's a lot of respect from me to you, just for who you are and what you stand for. Because I read all your comments, dude, and I really love your point of view about the Minutes Police with Nick last year. It's hilarious with all the little emoticons of the police officers and the sirens. Oh, Minutes Police was awesome, and you're officially the Minutes Police to me. Just so you know, you are. We will have to see if Minutes Police matters. Maybe on my channel. I'm at 215. I better get done soon. Let's see. Hilarious. Cowboy, awesome. I love that. David saying that's bonkers. So if you have half a brain, that he blocks you from his channel because you won't buy into his propaganda. Listen, I'll block people from here, but it's only for being Raptors haters. You can like be critical and talk shit about the Raptors. I don't mind that to a degree, but if you're really just trolling and just really negative, we don't have time for it. Then I'll block them. But that's interesting what Bradley did. Very interesting. I appreciate it, Bradley. You're awesome. Infamous saying, I get the impression. Hang on, sorry, it jumped. Where is it? Oh, Ruliz is here. I wanted Ruliz to come in here. I want to talk to you specifically. I want to make sure I talk to you about what we've been talking about the last couple of days for sure. All right, where were we? We're at Infamous. Infamous before Ruliz. All right, no more comments, y'all, because I'm going to have to get out of here. Infamous is saying, oh, there's the cutoff by nameless. Okay, I appreciate him putting that up. But I'll get through everybody's comments for sure, guys. For sure, we will get there. Where's Infamous? All right, hang on. Wow, you guys really filled it up. There's the butthole face. I see Tom posting the butthole face. Okay, there we go. I get the impression that MLSE is telling the public no rebuild to keep revenue up, but behind closed doors, I see a soft rebuild happening. Well, I don't like calling it a soft rebuild. Maybe that's a term. I call it a retool. It's very similar to what Denver's been doing. They have core players that they really value, like Jokic and Murray, and they keep them around. But you kind of switch out the players around them, like Bones Hillman. You come in, you bring in somebody like DeAndre Jordan. You just switch the guys around the team to kind of get better fleshing out of the bench and role players overall. That's kind of what I want the Raptors to do. If we get rid of one of our major players, I won't be upset this summer. If it's Fred, if it's, OG, if it's Pascal, whatever, if there's only one of them going somewhere and we get some really interesting in return, I'm okay with that. But I don't consider that kind of a rebuild either. That's just a retool. If we have the main core, and Scotty's kind of the main core with the young guys with Koloko and Precious, I don't really look at it as a rebuild. It's really just terms in some ways. But, I get what you're saying, that they want to say we're winning now, and that's why you need to come and buy tickets no matter what. But I think they're right, and I think they're serious. I think that people don't understand, like I said earlier, that you can be really a lot better in the new NBA with the parity. That, our record last year is not really indicative of what we're going to do next year. This is going to be a totally different kind of year, seriously, with a different direction with the coach. Let's see. Bahaha, Cowboy. Haha, Tom Duke's laughing at Mischief saying, did you end up checking 19-year-old Serbian prospect Nikola Jurisic? Who should we draft in this draft? Mischief, thank you. You were the one who did bring him up, and I did. I went and looked at him yesterday. Now, I have a spreadsheet I'm going to share with you guys tomorrow. and it has my rankings of who I like. And I'm going to tell you right now, Nikola was at the bottom. Listen, he's a very interesting size, but he's not really what we need right now. He can't shoot. That's the biggest problem with him. He's not a very good shooter. Now, he's got a really good, interesting frame, and he's young, but he's a little weak too. Like I looked at him, he doesn't have enough bulk. I'm really worried about him getting pushed around in the NBA. Now, just because he's Serbian and our new coach is Serbian, and it seems like a good fit, I think he may not even get drafted, honestly. And it could be possible that we bring him in as an undrafted if you really like him that much. But he's projecting as a late second round draft pick. Definitely not somebody we want to waste the 13th pick on. And like I said, he's not a good shooter. His 3-point shooting percentage is the lowest of all the prospects I looked at yesterday. In fact, I think he shoots 19% from three. He has no 3-point shot. So in some ways, it's kind of dead in the water right away for the NBA. Everybody has to be able to hit threes at this point. I don't care what position you are. You could be a center. You need to hit threes at this point. That's just the way the NBA is. And this dude's not a shooter at all. And we don't need more guys that we have to develop into being a shooter. And unfortunately, that's Nikola Jurisic, as I looked at him yesterday, so you know. Country Kong saying, I truly believe that guys like Delano Banton and Malachi Flynn are going to surprise us all this year under Darko. Ron Harper, Koloko, even Precious, who got unceremoniously benched, will improve greatly. I fully endorse that prediction and get behind it also, Country Kong. I truly believe you're right. Truly believe. G said he blocked me a long time ago. Laughed my ass. See, you guys get blocked by Pansera. That's kind of a badge. That's a badge of courage or badge of achievement for a Raptor freak. Seriously. Awesome. I want to find out who all has been blocked. All right, David wants to go get himself blocked. Go in there. I want to see David do it. David would probably go in there and do some damage, really wreck shit in there because he has teeth. He'll go in there and he doesn't fucking care. He'll be crazy. David could do some real funny stuff in there. In fact, whoever's not blocked should go watch David go in there and do that. It would be good entertainment. Seriously, David is a wordsmith with fucks and stuff like that. Really interesting stuff you could say. Cowboy saying, yeah, once he's seen Raptor Freak the first time, he said, was that Lex's negative? I was like, what the fuck? I lost it. But I don't care. I probably don't need his followers anyway. Only real ones over here. He said that I was negative. He's so positive. It drives me bonkers. See, David says I'm too positive. It actually annoys him how positive I am. Listen, he may think I'm negative because I'm negative towards him. He's an egoist. It all matters what it is to him. To me, it doesn't matter to him. You guys can be negative to me, do whatever. I don't care. I'm a piece of meat. Just treat me like shit. But Pansera, he has a vested thing like Nick Nurse. His ego matters. So if I was negative towards Pansera, call him a piece of shit and fuck him, that he who shall not be named, well, that's probably why he says I'm negative. I'm positive for the Raptors. I'm positive what's good for the Raptors. And if you're that way about the Raptors, then you're on the right channel. I will be negative. Yeah. I use negativity against our enemies. And that's what I'm doing. Now, he uses negativity against our own team. Well, who do you want to fucking get behind? The guy who's using negativity against our own fucking players, or the guy who's using negativity against our enemies, the other teams like Philadelphia and Nick Nurse and other people like that. So I'll just point it out that way. Hilarious. Yeah, good stuff, y'all. I love that. This is actually pretty funny stuff, guys. All right, I'm going to pass over all the emoticons. Tom Duke has got good emoticon work in there. I love it. Cool Cat saying, one thing, if we are not trying to be contenders this year or next year, then it's best for Pascal to move on. His improvements will be wasted on a team that don't have players prepared to win yet. Wow, this is a Pascal stand, very much maybe our number one Pascal person who's saying, well, if we're not going to be trying contending next year, that she thinks that Pascal needs to go to another team and not waste his prime years in the NBA. I hate hearing that from Cool Cat, but in some ways I see her point of view. Listen, let's not look at it this way like this. If he does end up in Portland next to Dame Lillard and we got Anthony Simons or something like that going on all of a sudden, then it'll make sense what you're saying, because Pascal will be in a similar place as Lillard, wanting to compete right now and get somewhere with it. I don't know. This is such a touchy thing. Once again, I'm not going to get so it's really weird because we're coming full circle on this, Cool Cat. The end of the season, I said out of everybody, we could lose. Pascal's the one I feel like we could lose and we'd weather it the best. And you were like, no, not Pascal. Well, now we come to the point where I'm like, let's not get rid of Pascal. And you're like, if we're not going to be a certain type of team, he needs to leave because that's best for him in his career. That's crazy. In some ways, I get it. You're a Pascal first fan, because that's what it sounds like here. But that's fine. You love it, Pascal, and Pascal's a great Raptor. I won't fault you for that. There's a lot of people that are fan first of some of the players, but I get it. Listen, in some ways, he didn't say anything about Darko getting hired like everybody else did. Rico's just left. I don't know what's going on with Pascal. We'll just have to see. Tom Duke's got the butt face out. I love it. I love it. And David's got poop and an 8-ball and a poodle. I don't understand that. Kareem Thomas. Okay, this is great. And Kareem was awesome in the in the chat yesterday during the press conference. He was like, "They got ice cream. They got ice cream." Kareem was hilarious. He had the best questions too. Like he was in the chat, and Logical was like, "Man, Kareem should be asking the questions at the press conference." He's like, "Who are going to be your assistant coaches and stuff?" Like, Kareem, you were awesome yesterday. Awesome. He's saying, "Can we talk about Ice Cream Gate? MLSE couldn't fork something more to show our diversity of city, like a couple of variety food trucks. Other than that, I'm getting butterflies in my stomach. Let's go." He wanted like a gelato truck. He wanted like a churro truck. He wanted an ice cream truck. He wanted to show the diversity in desserts in Canada, in Toronto, down in Jurassic Park yesterday. I don't know. I thought it was a nice touch. It reminded me of high school when we'd have ice cream socials at Lincoln High School in Tallahassee. We'd all go out in the middle of the track, and everybody stand out there with little cups and a little wooden spoon and eat a little bit of ice cream while all the guidance counselors and the teachers watched us to make sure we weren't doing anything weird, like sneak into the corner to have a cigarette. Yeah, I have great fond memories of ice cream socials from my high school years. And I thought that was a nice touch yesterday. The sunshine, the niceness, the lightness, the positivity. Boom, there's ice cream. And when they said that they had ice cream yesterday, I particularly saw Delano Band's face perk up, like, "Oh, ice cream, ice cream." Yeah, I think Delano was very happy that ice cream was at the location yesterday. Just from his reaction, I caught it when they said ice cream. Oh, ice cream. I don't know, Kareem. I think you're right. Although, they need more room for people to sit than have all those food trucks all around them. I don't know. You're asking for a lot. Larry, they said thank you, Larry, for the ice cream. It was hilarious. They literally said thank you to Larry. Thanks for the ice cream, Larry. Space is saying, Bobby this morning just said he wants to bring both Gary and Fred back. There you go. That's the GM of the Raptors saying he don't want these guys to leave. And I'll bet you these guys don't want to leave either. That's what people are going to start realizing is like the Raptors don't like losing guys. We like to retain our talent that we develop and spend time investing in them. And that, Bobby's saying that on the Fan 590 or wherever he was this morning, we better listen to him. There's a lot of Raptors Nation's not listening to Masai, not listening to Bobby. They're very clearly saying what they want to do. And just because it doesn't jive with what you want to do, you want to say, "Oh, I don't know what they're doing," because they won't tell us what they're doing. They are telling you what they want to do. You just don't want to hear it. And that's the problem. Bobby said this morning he wants to bring Gary and Fred back. I believe him. So we're going to see if he can make it work. Bobby's got to figure out those numbers and make it all work. And, with the new collective bargaining agreement and the new umbrellas of the way you can do your salary cap, I think that he probably has a way he can keep all these guys and keep them around. And people will be shocked and their heads will explode. Fred is still in a Raptors jersey next year. Trevor's saying, doesn't matter what information Nick Nurse has from us. It's all about what Darko's cooking. That's true, actually. Trevor's right. He may know what he did here, but he may not know anything about what Darko's going to do here. I think that's right. That's a very good distinction, Trevor J. Fiercely saying, for the record, I don't hate Fred. I just don't like the ambiguity he seems to put out in terms of content and interviews. It's just off. In terms of performance, he has indeed given us solid ones. In some ways, this isn't his first rodeo in this status. We've known in the past, Fred has been in an ambiguous place with whether he's going to come back to the team or not. This happened the last time with his contract. This happened the time when I met him that summer in 2018. That he had just finished up a weird, ambiguous place where he was being kind of courted by the rest of the NBA, and he still chose us. In those instances, he took less money and stayed with us. Well, he may do that all over again. He's done it twice before. If he does it again, it'll be the third time. The third time's the charm. So we want to look at a pattern of history with Fred and being in this particular situation, even if it's unclear, he's making it ambiguous. He did before. It's just part of the playbook they have to do for negotiation with Masai and Bobby. And I think that honestly, in some ways, he has to do this ambiguity because it is so well known how loyal he is as a person and how much he really does like being in Toronto. So I don't think that this is a bad thing, Fiercey, the ambiguity. In some ways, he has to do it just because of the position he's in for bargaining. And in the track record of Fred in his negotiations with our front office has always shown he's come right back and circled up and got a deal done with us. So I think that this is all seems like it's the same kind of thing this year. Let's see if the outcome is any different than the other times before. Let's see. Cowboys saying, okay, got to go. Salute the real ones. 100%. Everyone stay positive and spread the love. Later, Lex and Raptor Freaks. Bam. Let's go. Everyone have a great day. Thank you, Bradley. Be safe out there. And ta-da. If y'all have a home thing that you need done, like you need something painted, windows clean the gutters, move something heavy. They do all kinds of different odd job stuff around your house. If you can't get something done, you need a little bit of help, a little bit of muscle. Look up Tada in the phone book in the Toronto area. They can come and help you out with your odd jobs. There you go, cowboy. Thank you for putting me on blast. I put you on blast, baby. That's right. David's saying, laugh out loud. Lex is going to be disappointed when he gets to the Rico to Philly chat. Oh my gosh. Listen, I already seen on Twitter what people are saying on Twitter about Rico coming there. Philly fans are celebrating. They feel like they basically came and jumped on our king of the hill. They took our coach. Now they got our development coach, and they're going to put a stick of a Philly flag on these things like they conquered something from Toronto. It's like these weird moral victories Philadelphia is getting from having our coach on their team all of a sudden. And if they get Fred and they get Rico, well, it's going to be even more like that. It's like professional came in here and said, we have the Philadelphia Raptors over here. I'm like, dude, that's not really a put down. That's kind of a put down on y'all. That once again, teams are having to steal our shit to try and get better. You know, you can go ask Steve Ballmer how that worked out for him, stealing all our good things here in Toronto and how they did since they stole Kawhi and Norman and Serge and different people trying to be like the Raptors. Well, it didn't get them anywhere. You got to be the Raptors to be the Raptors, Sixers. So you can't be the Philadelphia Raptors. I'm sorry. You go ahead and get our guys. Just talk to Steve Ballmer. He'll tell you how it went. Yeah, he'll tell you how it went. Mike's saying Eric Curry is a guy Masai is trying to develop. Yeah, he's an office guy, and I guess he was away from all that, so he's immune. He's got immunity from the firings of the coaches because he was in 905. He was in Mississauga. I don't know what Nick did in Toronto. I wasn't there. I was in Mississauga with Hassani Gravatt. I was in Mississauga with Luke with Ryan Hawkins. Yeah, I don't know what happened in Toronto this past year. Infamous saying Darko gave me a Bond villain vibe. I don't expect you to talk, Mr. Bond. I expect you to die. Yeah, I love that part. That's that part where Goldfinger's like got him on that table and he's got a laser. He's going to shoot at his dick. Like, seriously, y'all know that part in James Bond. He's like tied to it. Sean Connery's like, Goldfinger, I will get you, I promise. I don't expect you to talk, Mr. Bond. I expect you to die. And then that laser's coming up right on his crotch. Oh, and all the women that love James Bond are like, no, not James's crotch. You know, little movie retelling there. I love it. Infamous, bringing up James Bond. He's not a villain, though. I'll tell you, if anything, he's not a villain. Darko is not a villain. That is for sure. David's saying that Fiercely Saucero, solid performances except the last 6 minutes of the fourth quarter of every game last season. Talking about Fred. You know, listen, I'm telling you, he got ran to the ground by Nick. Ran to the ground. This man can't hit clutch shots when he's been playing all game. He's tired and winded. I'm telling you, Pascal and Fred will close games easier and better next season with a more better rotation, with even minutes, and these guys won't be completely gassed by halfway through the third quarter. Yeah, I'm going to predict this right now that we're going to be able to see Clutch Freddie, if he's still on our team next year, come back. Because he's been saved some of his energy. If it's a video game and there's a little bar and it's green and starting to turn yellow and it's going into red, Nick Nurse will run it all the way until it's empty. And these guys are supposed to hit shots. You're playing NBA 2K23 or whatever game. You know that energy bar matters. You want to keep it kind of like in a certain way with substitution so that it stays at least yellow. If not, it's still in the green to an extent. So this is what I'm saying. Nick didn't care about those energy bars. He just ran them right out. And then by the end of the third quarter, it was already empty. That's what I'm saying. That's going to be the difference. Darko will manage things more equally so that Fred can be more effective at the end of the game because he's not absolutely run to the ground. Seriously, that's going to happen. Names is saying we were right yesterday when we speculated this entire coaching staff was going to be overhauled with better development people. Well, Darko in some ways is going to be a very, very good development person for us. Trust me. He really is. And that may be why Rico's going to Philadelphia this morning. Yeah. Yeah, I like the name. This has got some dorky faces and books and stuff. I love it. Nerds, yeah. Raptors Freak is toxic as fuck. Penn basketball. Can't make this up. You can say I'm toxic. In some ways, I am. I'm not gonna lie. In some ways, I'm toxic for people that are anti woke. I'm toxic for Fred haters. I'm toxic for people that are anti Raptors. That's who I'm toxic for. You wouldn't say I'm gonna be toxic for those people. You're damn right. I'm toxic for those kind of damn people, and I wouldn't have it any other way. If Pensair thinks I'm toxic, well, that's good because he is the worst person to be saying that as far as toxic, considering how he covers the Raptors. Yeah, you go and watch some of his stuff, my archive and his archive, and you tell me who's more toxic as far as what they're trying to do for the Toronto Raptors team. You tell me who's more toxic. It's hilarious. Hilarious. Paul B saying, I love what I saw from Darko. Great energy, mentioning Banton, and development was so promising. Love the Ibaka shout out too. We the North. Is that a foreshadow, Paul? Could that be that Serge Ibaka is in the plans? Is that he's like dropping a little hint that Serge Ibaka may be back in a Raptor jersey next season? Why would you mention Serge like that? Did you see Serge in Toronto, Darko, since you've been here? Because he's around Toronto. I know he is. So maybe this is something that's coming down the pike. I would love to see one of our champions come back. We've had so many champions leave our team. We need some of them to come back. And Serge, you would be a great one to come back, even if you're right at the end of the bench. I would no problem with Serge Ibaka being in a Toronto Raptors jersey once again next season. All right, let's keep going. All right, Relose is in here. This is somebody who was talking about with Bobby Webster the other day about what is the importance of Bobby Webster and why do we need him on this team? What does he do as the general manager? Well, let's talk about it. Bro, you want to bring the guy back who sabotaged our entire season? Who are you talking about, Fred? He didn't sabotage it. Nick did. It was Nick. He's also saying Masai called selfishness, and you want to bring back Fred, who was the point guard doing that selfish BS? Make it make sense. All right. I'll try and make it make sense with all respect. Seriously. Um, listen, Fred did what he did last year under the direction of Nick. You got to understand, once again, Fred is not selfish. You think it's Fred, but it's not. It was Nick telling him to be as selfish as hell. That he played that way because he didn't trust anybody else on the team. Nick didn't. He only trusted Fred to a degree. So he put so much on Fred. It was Nick telling him to be that way. Now, Fred is like a piece of clay. It doesn't matter. Like whoever is in charge is going to tell him what his role is and what he does for the team. So Darko will come in, and Fred is still on our roster. He will say, Fred, we're going to do things differently this year. You're not going to be relied on as heavily as you were under Nick. You are going to be, it's going to be more equal, and you're going to enjoy it more because you'll be less injury prone. You won't be as run down and tired. You'll have more success at times when things are better, and we will not run you to the ground like Nick did. Trust me, we're going to find balance with you and Malachi more than ever. In fact, you may be playing 30 minutes, and Malachi will play 18 minutes at the point guard spot. So it's that kind of stuff. It's like the coach really does come in and controls things a lot. You have to understand this. So a lot of the people blaming Fred for things last year should be actually blaming Nick because Nick put Fred in that position to have so much more responsibility than the other guys. Does that make any sense to you? Okay, now if what I say and Fred's still here next year and you see a difference in what I just described next season, will you say that, oh my gosh, Raptor Freak was right when he said that it was the coach's system that dictated Fred to be such a focal point? How about that? Did I make sense of it just now for you? I hope I did. We'll see. G saying a point guard implements the coach's schemes. See, G's just backing up what I just said. This happens so often that G and I know exactly, we have the same answer. And that must mean something that we're both coming to the same place. If the schemes are selfish and demand ISO, that's on the coach. He just said it. I didn't read what he said before I said what I said to you. So it's, think about that. If Fred plays a Darko style, are people going to finally lay off him or find new things to pick on? Well, I'm saying, like, I fully predict if Fred leaves this team, that Pensair will pick another player on the team to absolutely pick on and go after just like he did Fred. Because a lot of his content is based around singling out one Raptor and really being toxic towards them. So I fully expect that from Pensair. I don't think Pensair is a fan of the Raptors. I think he's somebody who's paid by another team fan to come in and make things confusing for us and get Raptor fans all on a weird place for specific people on our team. And Fred has been the target over the last couple of years. So I fully expect if Fred leaves, Panzer's just going to move his target to another one of our Raptors players. And you will see it. If I'm right with that prediction, you'll realize that, oh shit, Raptors freak was right again. Tom Duke saying selfishness wasn't one player. Come on. Yeah. It's the coach. It was the coach. The coach was selfish about his needs and wants for what he wanted for his coaching career. And that's the hierarchy. He's the heat leader. He's the one in charge of everything. Well, if he's fucking got those motives for the whole season, can you understand why the Raptors season was like it was last year? When Nick was only angling for things that Clutch wanted him to do, like get the fuck out of Toronto and get more money on an American team. He was in a good place with us. We didn't want to fire him. Masai said he could be here for life. Well, Nick had to make it toxic and really awful in a place where he could leave. And in some ways, he had to do it in a sly way so it didn't look like it was his fault. Well, the educated eye, the people that know what they're watching, like us, saw right through it. And we saw what you're doing, Nick. You fucking wasted a year of Raptors and Scotty Barnes' career. You fuck face. Oh, I hate him so much, man. I hate Nick so much right now. I really do. Let's see. Space Cadet saying sabotage our season. Bro's been watching too much Panzer. Now, I don't know if Fred sabotaged our season, seriously, because he missed shots at the end of the game. Well, why did he miss those shots? I've explained why. Mike's saying facts, G. The coaching staff and playbook planning is like a car, and Nick chooses direction. The players don't have the power to switch a lot based on preparation done by the whole coaching staff's work. Yeah, it's the staff, and the staff's going to be totally different next year, and we're going to see it. It's going to be very different output. Cool Cat saying Nick Nurse will use ISO and teams that pass a lot. Nick capitalized turnovers to get fast break for transition because of our shooting. Both Darko and Nick's philosophies are correct. You know, they're different. They're going to be very different. And that's the thing. We're going to see how, if you have a car, one guy may drive that car really fast and dangerously. One guy may drive it more cautiously and more smart. And the style of how they drive the car that is the Raptors roster will be evident. And Darko is a different kind of coach than Nick. Nick was very defensive oriented, centered coach. Darko's more offensive oriented. And that's maybe one of the biggest differences Raptors Nation is going to see is that our offense is going to have a lot more work into it. It's going to not look like just thrown together and half-assed. It's going to actually look like a real offense. And it's going to have actual plays that we're going to detect. It's going to have actual like cuts and back screens and really cool shit that we're like, holy shit, they're running a play. I haven't seen the Raptors run a play in like 2 or 3 years. Seriously, it's going to feel like that for us because Nick ran systems. He didn't run specific plays. He ran systems and protocols. It's more like if this happens, you do this. And that's what you do. It's ambiguous what you do. It's just that you're supposed to do something in the realm of this. Well, Darko's going to tell them very specifically exactly what they're supposed to be doing. And because of that, he'll be able to hold the team more accountable for fulfilling his system. Nick, in some ways, the ambiguity of like, you got to go do it. It's like he can't hold guys accountable because there's no actual like specifics that he's giving them. Does that make sense? That's going to be a big, huge difference, especially on the offensive end. All right, Ruth saying, okay, so y'all telling me that when Masai mentioned selfishness, it only applied to Nick, who doesn't even play the games? This commie got the comments on 5-minute restriction. Idiot things. You call me a commie? Oh, my gosh. All right, you just got one strike because, first of all, I have a family that fought against communism, and that is a very, very serious insult that you just made. You're not endearing yourself to us here. We can argue and have a conversation, but let's keep it civil to a degree. I'm not calling you names. You can call me names. Well, that may open up some things. You won't like it when I turn on you because I can run a wrestling promo on your ass and I can speak way louder than you can type. And yeah, I do have you on a limit because look, I'm almost at 3 hours. I read every single damn comment. If I let you run roughshod over my comments and just go on and on and on, I don't want to read your jabroni comments for an hour. So yeah, there is a limit on here. Now, if you're a good citizen, somebody who's been here all the time, you get a wrench and you don't get a limit. But I don't even fucking know you, bro. And you're gonna call me a commie? Idiot things? Yeah, bro. You're in bad place right now. I'm gonna tell you right now. I'm gonna see what the rest of your comments are, and we'll see if we can get on out of here. I don't want your subscription enough to put up with your bullshit. How about that? Cool Cat saying, be careful about social media and players' activity and assume support, no support. Social media is toxic, so players limit posting to professional branding. Nothing about how they feel already work. Yeah, that's true. They should honestly be in an old other bubble of social media away from all of us common folk. Seriously, I put it that way, but it's true. They should have their own little like limited audience for certain things that they like to share on private. The very public stuff should be like what Cool Cat's saying. It's about branding and other things that don't have to do with that stuff. And then as far as like reading comment sections or any of that, don't do it. I mean, there may have been temptation to do it when you're younger and you did it then, but it's gotten so much worse. That social media is such a toxic dumpster fire of just stupid, inane, dumbass comments and opinions that are so stupid and so half-assed, and half of them we don't know where they come from. So they could be coming from Celtics Nation, they could be from Sixers Nation. This Rue guy could be a fucking Sixers fan for all I fucking know. And he just wants to come in here and be a little shithead. That's how it is. So these guys, if I was on, I wouldn't do anything social media wise. That's why I'm not upset with Scotty not being on Twitch this year. That's why it's like Chris Boucher don't want to read his DMs on Instagram. Well, power to you. Don't. It's really smart. Isaac saying bench mob is back. Let's fucking grow. That's right. Let's get a bench mob back. Let's not just talk half-ass about it. Let's actually give minutes and develop one instead of Nick. Infamous saying Macho Man did say that in a Mean Gene promo. The actual quote is, "Don't buy any ripe bananas because you won't live long to eat them." That's hilarious. That is hilarious. Okay, that sounds familiar in there. That totally sounds like something the Macho Man would say. Don't buy any ripe bananas because you won't live to eat them. Oh yeah, Elizabeth, let's go. All right, Ruth's saying this. So this is where all the Fred stands slithered to. Let my ass off. Y'all running out of space on YouTube to peddle this BS. All right, there's your second strike. I'm going to give you one more strike, and then you will know. Listen, we're Fred stands, we're Pascal stands, we're Scotty stands, we're Raptors stands. And Fred VanVleet is a Raptors legend. You fucking disrespect motherfucking Fred VanVleet, motherfucker. You don't understand that that man is a champion for the Raptors? That man was made into a legend in this city because he's an undrafted player that rose up to become an all-star? That this man has franchise records for this team? You motherfucker, you don't respect one of the greatest Raptors of all time? You can fucking kiss my motherfucking ass, you piece of shit. How about that? Yeah, you can call me a commie. Now I'll start fucking calling you names, you little motherfucker. Rue Louise or whatever the fuck your name is. You fucking want to fucking come meet me? I'll come meet you downtown and I will talk the talk and walk the walk real quick as a 6'4", 200-pound man that will fucking ream you to the ground, motherfucker. Yes. All right, let's see. Marlon's saying Rico's joining Nick. Yes, we know, Marlon. It's okay. It's all right. Let him go. Maybe he is a loser. Maybe he does bring losing to teams. Yeah. Fun guy saying, hey, bro, it just means so much to me that you're out in Toronto representing me, the one and only Fun Guy with your t-shirt. It truly means the world to me. Yeah, you saw that I'm wearing the Fun Guy, customized Fun Guy shirt that I had made by whatchamacallit in Kensington Market, Exile Vintage. They make shirts. And it's not an official New Balance. This is a not real one because this is gold. They don't make gold ones. So I got a specialty Fun Guy during our championship run Kawhi shirt, which I don't wear very often because of things, but because we had an introductory press conference and Darko almost said he's a fun guy. I figured this was the right day to wear it. But yeah, I'm representing you over here, Fun Guy, for sure. Maybe let's say, Marlon, get ready for Philly to tank unexpectedly next season. Yeah, the Rico effect. There may be something to that. Let's see. Let's get that cancer out of here. G saying better than that cult doing what that YouTuber says. That guy with the burner accounts pretending to be part of our front office, programming others to do his bidding. People who know. Yeah, for all I know, Rue he could be Panser. Like, seriously, does this guy have any friends? He's got little chums that come in and do this kind of shit? I don't know. He could be Panser for all I fucking know. I don't know. Nameless saying, with Rico, Earl, and Nick leaving, it signifies no more ego in the management, coaching, and players. I hope that's true. Seriously, I think that it will be. I really do think he's right on the same page with Masai and Bobby, Darko. And the players are dying for a coach that's not going to be such a prima donna like Nick was. Seriously. We are now one for all and all for one. I'm with you, Nameless. I'm with you. All right, Rue, this is your last one, I think. Keep running to these delusional channels to get casuals to agree with you, G. Most people see through Fred. Now, you're insulting my friend, G. So you know what? You fucking get the fuck out of here. You're done, motherfucker. Yeah, don't let the door hit your ass, just like Rico. Yeah, motherfucker. Yeah, you are not a Raptors fan if you're anti-Fred. I'm sorry. They just don't jive. You may think, oh, I have better thoughts for the Raptors because I want Fred gone because then the Raptors would be better. You're fucking wrong. Everybody who's anti-Fred is wrong. I'm telling you right now. They don't know the man personally. I met him. I talked to him for 10 minutes. He's one of the nicest guys in the world. He's a very, very nice dude. He does not blow off the fans. He talked to me in the middle of the street at midnight on Kensington Avenue on a Sunday night, and nobody else was, he didn't have to talk to me. He did not have to talk to me. He could have been rude, and he was very pleasant, and he answered all kinds of questions for me. I said, did you meet Kawhi yet? We just gotten Kawhi. It was before we won the championship that summer. He said, no, I haven't met Kawhi yet. I'm looking forward to meeting him. And I said, Fred, you just signed a new contract with us. I'm so happy. The city of Toronto is so happy. The real fans love you, and they're glad you're back here. And I said specifically to Fred, keep shooting. We believe in you, and we know the shots will fall in. Well, fuck. He took that advice all the way to Larry O'Brien by the end of that season. So you tell me. I'm sick of this shit. This disrespect for Fred VanVleet, it does not come into this channel. You can have it in your little bullshit place called Pensair Basketball, but you ain't going to have it here. And that little shithead, whoever, whatever motherfucker, he's gone. You gone, motherfucker. I ain't reading none of more of your comments. That's right. Absolute congruency. That's right. Let's see. Mike is saying various views are the best way to truly see the most about things. If you're stuck in bias, then yeah, you would assume everyone is stands because that's how you see things yourself. Mike just explained this logically and exactly right. Listen, I bended and amended my views and thoughts on many, many different things on this channel in the 2 years I've been doing it. You can ask the regulars here. I am not above reproach. If I'm wrong, I will say it. In fact, I'm wrong today. Fuck, Rico made me wrong, and I hate this. I had the whole thing I said to Michael Grange's report last week saying, yeah, this, I can't see this happening. Well, it did, and I was wrong, and I hate that. But I'm also willing to say it when I am wrong. And it's too bad, but it is what it is. Some people just can't do that. And it sounds like it's more having to be a problem on that channel with those people over there than it is here. You can say our undying appreciation and respect for Fred is fucked up, but why is that? He's a Raptor. He's on our team. He's helped us win. If you look at it and you think about it logically, like Logical Raptors Fanatic's name is, you guys hate the Raptors when you hate Fred. You really don't understand that. And man, I can't stand people that hate Fred at this point. You want to fucking come in here and call me a commie and tell me I'm crazy for liking Fred? You're fucking fuck. You fuck. So fuck on the fuck out of here. Yeah. All right, let's keep going. G saying, remember the Scotty and Fred don't get along lies he spread? All fake news. Keep being programmed. You clearly like toxicity, so stay in that lane. I think that Bradley roused him up because he went in there and fucking put us on blast. And now Rue has to come in here and be his little shithead self today. I think that you're right. Like, that was damaging and fucked up and just unnecessary bullshit, toxic noise from Pensair about Fred versus Scott. That is just the damn truth. And we know that it's not true because they've shown that they're cool with each other. These guys are team players, and you want to write a narrative where they're toxic like that? Yeah, you are not good for this team, and you're going to call my channel toxic? When you're making up fake news like that? She's exactly right. Infamous saying Paul Jones did not coin the phrase. That's not true. It was his brother, Mark. Mark Jones said Lebronto. Okay, good for the clarification. Well, we know Mark Jones is a turncoat already. Listen, he may be from the 416, but he's ingratiated himself to America. In fact, he kept it hidden. He was a Canadian from Toronto this whole time. I see him on TV. I always thought he was an American guy. It wasn't until I got up here and I saw Paul Jones. He said, oh, Paul Jones is brothers with Mark Jones. Wait, is Mark Jones American or Canadian? Wait, Mark Jones is from Canada? What the fuck? And this motherfucker's making up the word Lebronto? What the fuck? Names is saying Sergio will be on this coaching staff before opening day. Any takers? I'm looking to make a quick buck. Come on, you can trust me. Nameless wants to take some bets on this. No, I mean, I'm wanting to take that bet because it could be Sergio does not want to be a assistant. He wants to be a head coach. He may not show up like that. G's saying you cannot like Fred for your own reasons, and that's cool. And that can be obsessed with not like Fred. That you afraid under a new system he will prove you wrong. Yeah, I think G's right. All right, you cannot like Fred. You can you can be obsessed with not liking Fred. But what if he comes in and he does everything we're saying? He's a team player and he fits in and everything goes really well next season. And y'all are all completely proven wrong. And this whole platform Panzer has been standing on this whole past season just crumbles even more underneath him. I think the Scotty and Freddie thing is completely debunked. And that was a huge part of the meat and potatoes of his stupid ass damn channel. Well, Fred comes back next season, signed to us, makes all them pissed off even more, you fucking dumbasses. And he fits in and he plays as a team player, and it even goes against even more of the fucking stupid ass platform they've had on that channel. Well, it just discredits his channel and makes it look even more of a waste of time if it fucking happens. Seriously. Fun guy saying, nameless, please laugh my ass off. You and 90% of this chat still owe me over Nick Nurse's firing. Y'all bet and switched. Lol, told y'all's mouths months ago, and y'all were saying idiot that casual this. I got PayPal. Fun guy, don't take it personal. You know what my mantra is on this channel. Nick was in good faith with us at that point still. The signs were there, and you were right. I've told you I will give you credit for being right and sound an alarm. It's just when the fire's going on in the middle of the season, I want to try and keep the boat floating and continuing to try and win. And I don't want to add to the noise of causing problems. So in some ways, I was defending him just in case, just because. And that's what I'm going to do on this channel. I defend the Raptors. I defend the people that are with the Raptors. When Nick crossed the line and went somewhere else, then I don't defend him anymore. And you're exactly right. I apologize. Seriously. That's something. Will Panzer do shit like that on his channel? I'm apologizing to somebody who's on my channel who 6 months ago told me that Nick Nurse was the problem and he was right and I was wrong. Wow. Can somebody on Panzer's channel do this? I don't think they can. Film guy, you were exactly right. I wish I'd listened to you. But do you understand why I was standing up for him during the whole heat of the battle of the season? That's just how I do it. So until it was the right time to turn on Nick, then I did turn on him. The right time was when he fucked up in that press conference and fucked up the end of our season. So yeah, there we go. You got PayPal though. If anybody feels like giving him any money, G saying, Rue, unlike you, I don't obsess over Fred on this channel whatsoever. We actually talk ball like grown-ups. And Mike is pointing to that also. Yeah, we don't talk 90% of this channel about Fred. It seems like a 90% of the content on that channel is about Fred. No, Fred is a part of the team equally you like talked about. I was on Twitch with Scotty all last summer, and I love Scotty just as much as Panzer does. Maybe I like him in a better way than Panzer likes him. He's a little obsessed and a little weird. I was around Scotty a lot last summer, and I really got to know him very well. But you can ask people on this channel. It's not like I gave Scotty preferential treatment or went overkill with like lauding him and saying, oh, Scotty, this guy. Yeah, it was very fair. And I gave him his fair share of time. That's the thing. They're all equal to me. I don't pick favorites and I don't have ones that I hate like Panzer does. And that's a big part of the problem. He has favorites on the Raptors, just like Nick did. Well, I'm not about that. You wear a Raptor red jersey, you're cool with me as long as you're not causing problems for the team. So there you go. There you go. Nameless is saying there's no more ego in our organization. And that is what I think Lex meant when he said back to Raptors basketball. Yeah. Yeah. That's the thing. There's too much ego and too much comfortableness. We need a chip on our shoulder. We need something to prove. We need to be the underdog. And we need to be like coming at them where like people are putting us down and saying they don't expect us to do anything. That's when the Raptors do the best. And in some ways, us being bona fide and being a real challenger and like a bona fide Eastern Conference powers, that didn't help us because we got too comfortable in it. And that was part of the problem with last season, too. I think Nick got way too comfortable. Nameless is saying, we don't play that crap here. People thinking they're better and deserve more than other people. Exactly. Exactly. You can call us commies. What the fuck? You think that's a bad word? In some ways, socialism is a good thing. Communism is not necessarily a good thing. But, the idea of equality and equal things for people, yeah, I'm all about that in society. I think that the gross inequality in money for people is like the haves and have-nots is gross because everybody should be able to be clothed, fed, and have a roof over their head. And, the way some people would have it is more and more for me, greedy ass motherfucker. So if that makes me a commie, so be it. Label me a commie. I'm totally fine with being a socialist. I'm definitely a socialist. But you want to call me a commie, that's fine. But that's name calling. And once you go to that base, unless it's somebody is, we're talking about like Nick Nurse or people that aren't on this channel, if you start talking to my people in my chat that are my friends like G, like that, fuck, you can get me real pissed off. Because you don't name call my friends on here. You can name call me a commie, that's fine, whatever. It doesn't really hurt me because honestly, Even though my family fought communism, my grandfather literally fought Russians and shot them in the head in World War II against communism. So you go ahead and be misdirected and misinformed, just like that whole other kit and caboodle of idiots over at Pencere's channel. You go ahead and go be those people. Yeah. All right, let's see. Nameless saying, fuck your crap, Nick. You fuck all you security. Nameless, I don't know how to read that. Nameless is also saying, any players don't want to be here or think they're above their teammates, we will trade you. Yeah, well, if Fred is really this problem, if he can't be a team player, well, I'm sure Masai and Bobby will show him the door. We say, okay, Fred, we're not going to pay you this money. Now, if they invest money in him, then they obviously don't think he's what Pencero thinks he is. Seriously, you think they're dumb enough to invest money in Fred, who's not a team player, who's all these things that Pencereites think he is? They're dumb enough to do that? No, they're not. Once again, this may be where the break in reality for Pencero people is, and the front office and the reality of the Raptors is what the Masai Ujiri does, investing in Fred. Why would he do that if it's a bad idea, if everything you're saying is true on Pencero Basketball Channel? Why would he do that? Masai's not stupid. Okay, yeah, there you go. All right, let's see. Fun guy saying, Jesus, far up in the chat is Lex. Still laughing my ass off. He hasn't even seen Nameless in the chat yet. Yeah, I'm getting there. I know that was an hour ago. I'm finally getting to it. It's fine. I don't mind doing a marathon. This is a big hire. Darko Rajakovic. Amazing new coach of the Toronto Raptors. So buoyed in spirit, the Raptors nation, by the fantastic interviews that he did yesterday. We have a lot of optimism and a lot of things that we're looking forward to now as Raptors fans. We have a really interesting new coach that is going to be a lot of fun to see how he does. Mike saying, I would like to point out Cool Cat's point yesterday on Nick's ego wasn't hurt by Rico's work and shine was correct. People had various views on that yesterday, and her view was correct, non-biased views. Okay. All right. I'm not totally sure exactly. I know that we were talking about how maybe Nick didn't like Rico. Well, obviously, if he's going to hire Rico, he did. So that whole thing about him being worried about the shine of Rico over Nick, that seems like it's silly at this point. If Nick is hiring him, he's following him to Philadelphia. So yeah, Nameless is saying he's not Darko. Okay, so somebody else has made a Darko account. I love this. I want to interact with Darko more. This will be fun. I don't mind if it's Darko or not. I want to just treat him with the right respect because that is our coach, and I love the Raptors. And if that's Darko, I want to talk to him right. Fiercely saying, Cool Cat, I'm shocked. Always thought Rico was more on Earl's side, but I guess you're right. He is building up on his resume. Yeah, I wonder how this works. Now, if Earl shows up in Philadelphia too, and he's on his coaching staff, well, maybe that kerfuffle with Earl and Nick wasn't as bad as we thought. Once again, all the coaches' friction is kind of speculation. And in some ways, I don't know how to suss out exactly the root problem of what happened last year was. I'm pretty sure it was oriented around the coaches. Because why would the players tune out Nick so badly by the end of the year? That is the thing I'm wondering about. That's really what is the thing that doesn't totally make sense. Everything. It's definitely a resume builder. And that may be the biggest reason why he went to Philadelphia, because he's jumping benches to the front bench. Wayne saying, Lex, Masai's comment was just humor. Masai seems the type while being a type, a personality does do self-deprecating jokes. Give him that one. I will, Wayne. I think you're right too, but I'm the kind of guy that reads into everything. Even people that make jokes, there is some truth sometimes to the jokes and stuff like that. And I don't know. I don't. You're probably right, and that's the way I should take it. Is he's just trying to have some fun and be a little bit humorous. You're probably right, and I will give him that one. It's just that it bugged me a little bit. I was like, don't tell him there's bad things. You don't tell him there's bad things. There's no bad things. There's only good things. Infamous saying, congratulations to Rico. I wish him the best. All right, I can do that. And Nameless is saying one for you, the other's for Nick. There you go. Nameless has got fingers for those guys on their way to Philadelphia. Meanwhile, Infamous is wishing Rico the best. There's a little bit of dichotomy and diversity in our Raptors Freak Nation. We don't all have the same opinion here like they do on some channels. Wayne's saying Rico has bills to pay, Lex. However, it's a fail. Those two don't get along. It was obvious. Remember, this league is all about relationships. I think you're right, too. They didn't seem like a right fit. That's why it's so mystifying to me that Rico's going to follow Nick. It's really, really weird. Maybe this is just more of the dynamite for the dumpster fire that Philly's going to become this year. Maybe this is just more of it. This is very interesting. No, I'm not mad at Rico for taking this job and taking the promotion. I'm just mad that it's Philly. It's just the kind of thing where if you go into enemy lines, well, you're an enemy now. And I won't go too harsh on him. I'll definitely be going harsh on Nick for real, for sure. But I may treat Nick like Pantsera treat Fred last year. I may be treating Nick very much like that this year. So, and I know some people are mad at me for it. In fact, I think at the beginning of the stream yesterday for the press conference, I saw Scott B, who used to be in here with us all the time. I think he'd unsubscribed because I went so heavy at Nick and got mad at him. He had a middle finger up for Will Lou, NBA Chef, and the Raptors Freak. Scott B, we love you here. You're one of us, man. Come on back, Northeastern Roofing. Come on, Scott B. Don't be mad at me because I turned on Nick and now I think he's a piece of shit because he went to Philadelphia. I know you were a big Nick fan. And I think that's why he went over there. See, there's something, this happens. We go on different roads and stuff like that. I mean, he loved Nick and now he's mad at me for dissing Nick. So it is what it is. Name is saying it's on like Donkey Kong now, baby. Believe that. That's right. You come and get it, Philadelphia grudge match. Yeah, we're going to get a grudge match now. Darko is our guy. The Darko Knight will be lining up on our sideline. Fun guy saying, low-key, every time Rico joins a franchise, they get worse. We may have low-key gotten better. All right, we're going to go this direction since Rico's gone to Philadelphia. I want to believe this narrative. The proof is in the pudding in the outcomes of so far. So I didn't want to say it, but now that he's going to Philadelphia, well, we'll say this. And Fun Guy's exactly right. G saying, Rue, are you obsessing over me like you do Fred? Sure sounds like it. I'm flattered. Ooh, G's got a new fan. Oh, that's so cute. Rue, you go ahead and lose so much sleep over the Raptors Freak dissing you and putting you the fuck out of here like a loser out of this chat today. And you go ahead and think about G and me rent-free in your head for a while. I will forget about you in the next hour or so. And boom, I'll be on with the rest of my life. You go ahead and just stay there in that place thinking about G and Fred and how much you love Pantsera. Name is the same. Rico is on a secret espionage mission to Philly. Who plays Mission Impossible? Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. He's so secretive, not even he is aware. Let's see. Name is the same. Black Ops crap. He doesn't know who the target is yet or who he is actually working for. They'll say a code word and he'll turn on just like Reggie Jackson in The Naked Gun. Must kill the queen. Must kill the queen. Yeah, I did a Naked Gun reference. Yeah, that's what you get here. Shut up, you brainless buffoon, Rue. Whatever he said, I don't know what he said. We've deleted him from this existence here. All right, G saying, just because I don't agree with making one player the scapegoat, regardless of the player, doesn't put the team first. Actually, think about how your cult has done everything to hurt the team. I know. What are y'all building over there at Pantsera Basketball? What are you building? Hate for Fred. That's all y'all are building over there. Oh, love for Scotty too? You have love for Scotty too? Well, what at what cost? To hate Fred in contrast to loving Scotty? Like, what is that? What is that? You're not for the Raptors, Pantsera Basketball Channel. You guys are a bad Raptors Nation part. You're toxic Raptors Nation. You're not Raptors fans. That's just the damn truth. If you're not a fan of Fred, you're not a fan of the Raptors. That's just the pure truth. The real ones know this. A Raptors fan who's never watched the Raptors Freak or Pantsera Basketball can go watch me and then go watch him and say, the Raptors Freak is more a Raptors fan than Pantsera Basketball because he stands beside our guys like Fred VanVleet. When this motherfucker is anti-Fred VanVleet, well, that's anti-Raptors. So real Raptors fans will realize which channel is for the Raptors and which one isn't. I mean, seriously, it doesn't take that long to figure that out if you go and watch our content. Wayne saying, it doesn't matter where Rico goes. Pascal wasn't hitching to go to Sacramento when Rico was there. It's a business and people need jobs. That's what they do. Lighten up. Masai is right. Clean the sheets. Yeah, I'm with that. In some ways, I'm sad because he is a good asset to have around. He's a name. And I don't like Philadelphia feeling like they're stealing things from us. That's part of it. It's like Sixers fans are all giddy and gleeful. We're more like the Raptors. We're stealing their things. And that's kind of dumb. In some ways, it's kind of sad to them. It's sad to them that they got to cheat off our test. They're Mr. Bean in that one episode trying to steal the answers off that guy's test. It's the same shit. Okay, you guys are so proud of stealing our shit. Well, you can't get your own shit and build it up. You got to take shit that we build up and make it something there. We'll see if that works. It's Ask Steve Ballmer. Cool Cat saying Raptors let Rico go because they wanted to give the coach a new slate. So we can't blame Rico for taking the next job where he can build his career. Yeah. Listen, I only say that initial just because it's Philly and it's Nick. If he had gone to any other team, if he'd gone and joined Griff in Milwaukee, I would be very glowing towards it. It's really the grudge match of Philadelphia and Rico Hines being over there. That's one place. It's just Philly and Boston and Brooklyn are just three spots we don't need our personnel going to. Yuta is okay because Yuta, we just love Yuta, and I can't be mad at him. But in some ways, if other players go to the Nets like Vince Carter did a long time ago, I would be pissed at them. Seriously. Isaac saying backdoor Phil gets Nick Nurse to get Rico to keep Harden. We'll have to see. Like in some ways, listen, we can't go wrong with this. If Harden stays in Philadelphia, there's a problem there too. If he leaves, it's a problem. Either way, it's a problem for them. He stays, it's a problem. He leaves, it's a problem. Harden is just a problem. There's no getting around it. There's going to be issues with Nick and Harden if he stays. In some ways, it may be better if Harden stays. And he's a pain in the ass for Nick, and he blows things up more toxically quicker because James is just that kind of guy. Seriously, it's not going to take long for Nick to have to deal with James and Joel. And he's going to see what Doc was dealing with, and he's going to be like, holy shit, Doc's a humanitarian. Well, I'm not as good at dealing with people like Doc is. And this is going to get ugly quick, and people are going to hate each other really fast. Trust me. Seriously, there's not a whole lot of love between Joel and Nick already. There's more hate and, a little bit of friction, problems. It could go real south real quick there. It could be a huge failure right away, honestly. And even with Harden there, it could be a real failure, like him sticking around. Seriously, James Harden's not going to get along with Nick Nurse. He will not. Nick already has a poor opinion of him. We know that. And James knows that too. Mike's saying, Isaac, great point and connection point. Yeah. I love that. Isaac's right. Fun Guy's saying, Space Cadet, you should chill the fuck out on talking about seeing people on the streets because you got blocked. It's just basketball and online shit. Chill. Lots here would whoop you anyways, Mr. Big Bad. Hey, hang on a sec. You talking to me? He didn't say anything about meeting people on the street. I did. I said it about meeting people on the street. We're talking to Rulus. I'm not talking to Space Cadet. Space Cadet's my good friend. I love Space Cadet. I'm talking about Rulus talking shit. I'm telling him I'll meet him on the street. People say, oh, RAPTORSFreak, you can talk big game and stuff like that. Well, I am a big man too. I'm not a little guy. And I will talk, I look smaller on TV, but I'm not. Trust me, you meet me in real life. I'm a tall person and I'm working out. I'm drinking milk. I'm going to get strong one day and I'm going to get the girl, just like the milk commercials told me when I was a kid. Yeah, but no, it's not Space Cadet, Fun Guy. And I know you're a big guy. I wouldn't mess with Fun Guy. This guy's like about my height, and he's about 300 pounds from what I remember. So, yeah, I ain't messing with Fun Guy. And Fun Guy, don't worry about Space Cadet. It's Rue. If Rue shows up, that's the guy. Monique's saying, happy that we still have Jimbo. Yeah, I am happy about that, too. G's saying, your egos are huge, and you actually believe that. Your YouTuber loved Nurse. I talked about Nurse, and he went off on me. He later switched when he saw the writing was on the wall. I'm done. Too immature. There you go, G. You're above it, and you're better than all this, G. I know. After knowing you for like 2 years now on this channel, you're above this. You're a smart guy. You know your stuff. You're not really a fighter. I know that. And I hate that this guy's come in and personally attacked both you and I today. Whatever. Fuck that guy. He's out of here. Isaac saying, keep up the food fight at G. Your takes are solid. Yeah. Ruliz, you are on the wrong channel, bro. Yeah, they found out and they're gone. I'm not reading your comments. They're gone, bro. They're out of here, bro. Let's see. All right, MSJ saying, woke. The ideas involved promise such far-fetched nonsense. Laugh out loud. End fat racism, really? Laugh out loud. Save the climate. Talk to China of late. Love who you love. I couldn't before. Dreamt up in political nonsense. All right, MSJ, we're going to divide on this. I am a woke warrior, and I think the woke is very good. Woke is progress. The world is changing. We got to change this shit. And you either get with us or you get dragged behind us. The world will change no matter what. The young people decide the future. And if the young people want to have trans people, the young people want to fight climate change and try and save the planet for their future, I'm going with the young people because they'll be here after us when we're all dead. So progress is going to happen either way. We could be an old fuddy-duddy sitting at home, scared in the house, shooting people through the door, or we could get with it and be with the times. So progress is going to happen either way. You can fight it and be against it, anti-woke, all this, but it doesn't matter. It's not up to you. The kids decide it. The changes happen. The generations make the changes. And over time, it will happen. It's not political nonsense. It's progress, and it will happen whether you like it or not. All of this stuff. We may not be able to save the planet. It may be too fucked at this point. And that's why the children are unhappy and mad and acting out and really pissed off at the older generations because we did not take care of our planet and we're lending it back to them in a really shitty way. So, God forbid Greta and the rest of them being upset and trying to get climate change changed. Well, I'm behind them. I'm with the youth. That's where I'm at. Random gamers here, Philadelphia fans in here saying, "Who invited this guy? Let my ass off." I swear, bro, just spawned here. And he's talking about Rue. Yeah, random, even Philly fans in here. You're talking about we're closed minded and we can't get along with people. We have a Philadelphia fan that's a regular on here that we talk to all the time. And we have no problem with them. We can be very civil and we have a good time. Now, I know he probably doesn't like me dissing the Sixers all the time, but we at least have made friendships enough that we can talk. It's not just one Philadelphia fan. We've got like 4 of them that frequent this channel. So you're going to tell me that we're a cult and we don't have an openness to everybody else? We have fans of other teams that come in here. We have Celtics fans. We have Milwaukee fans. We have fans from all. I've had this Charlotte Hornets fan in here hanging out with us. So yeah, we're closed-minded and we don't let people in here. Bullshit. You'll see. I'm not blocking people other than Rue, but it's just for time saving. I would love to talk shit with him all day long. Sure, but it's not good content. It's not good content. So there we go. Appreciate you being here, Random Gamer. And I hope you had a good first year of your university this past year and that you're enjoying your summer. See, we can be humanistic just like Darko. We can be cool with other people that are fans of other teams. We've done this. We can't even be friends with people that are fans of our own team because they're fucking Panzericides. I can be a fan with this Philadelphia fan. I can be a friend with him, but I can't be a friend with our own Raptors fans because they're Panzerites. Yeah, that's fucked up. Seriously, that's fucked up. All right, let's keep going. Cool Cat saying, in review, Nick Nurse, a defensive coach. He needed a great offensive coach. We lost Chris Finch. Sergio Scariolo, who was great. That's evident. Same Darko, very offensive, should get a great defensive coach. Well, part of the thing I really like about this transition is our guys are already primed up and playing such crazy defensive stuff in the last couple of years that Darko can glean from that and use that kind of stuff for us going forward. It's not like the effort and the things that we discovered with Nick running our defense has to go away. In fact, Darko did say he liked how these guys already know how to change defense so quickly from man-to-man to zone to whatever schemes. And he will be still using that kind of stuff like Nick did. So in some ways, we're not going to lose some of the stuff that we did defensively because the personnel's still there, the same kind of length. And Darko knows what was working, and he'd be stupid not to incorporate things that Nick did before that actually worked on that end. So in some ways, I don't know if the defensive stuff will be a huge issue. He'll get a defensive guru, hopefully, to flesh out his coaching staff. But the fact that these guys are programmed the way they are the last few years with Nick is not going to go away. The effort and the kind of intensity and the things that they can do on defense is not going to go away. And Darko may be able to utilize it similarly, but also in his own way too. So that's what I'm saying right there. And you're right. The offensive coach train was part with Chris Finch. That was a huge part of it. We see what he does with Minnesota. And that was really an unfortunate steal from us that year in Tampa. That was a really tough year. And I had to give kudos to Nick for that year for holding it together. That was a really good job that year. Last year, the year before, not as great years for Nick. Let's just put it that way. Cool Cat saying, whoever the Rue person, don't mess with Raptor Freak and his crew. We are here for a reason. That's right. You want to step in the lion's den in here and you'll get your face bit off real quick. Real quick. Mike saying Nick Nurse had overall offensive system and direction and using the shooting the way he does, but needs guys to run the inside front court and action schemes with dynamic forward plays. Yeah, it'll be very interesting to see the changes in the offense. I really want to see more movement, more sharing, more passing, more efficient, easier baskets at a higher percentage, and less struggle. I think the struggle on the offense for the Raptors the last couple of years has just been hard to watch. That's part of the reason why nobody wants to watch, because we don't have confidence in the team when they are so anemic on the offensive end. And these stretches where Matt Devlin say the Raptors have not scored in the last 4 minutes of the clock, we don't want to hear that next year. We want to hear we have a solid offense that's smooth and it's scoring as it wants to because Darko is putting an effort into the offensive system. And I think that's what's going to happen. Shere Khan saying Lex is a go to Raptors fan nation. Everyone that doubts that can go suck an egg. Thank you, Shere Khan, Raptor Freak, Rookie of the Year. Seriously. I mean, listen, I don't want to be the GOAT. I do want to be a leader and I want to help because I do have natural gifts that are good for communication and getting points across along with my life experience and stuff like that. But I don't ever want to be, I'm very much like Darko. It's not about me. It's about you guys. And sure, I'm the one on TV and I'm the one making an ass of myself doing crazy impressions and singing songs. But this channel really is about the team of the Raptor Freaks. And that's why we do things like the Thursday Think Tank. That's why we do things like the Share the Love Club, because y'all's opinions and y'all's thoughts and everything about y'all's personalities matter. And that's what this is. This is a collective. This is not my channel. This is not Penn Sare basketball. This is the Raptor Freak channel, and we're all Raptor Freaks. It's not like they're all Penn Sares. Well, we could call them all Penn Sares, but this is a big part of it. This is a us. This is a we, and it's not just me, and that's for sure. Seymour saying Rico and Nico are finito. Double. This is a double dunk. Seymour. All right. First of all, I want to say this: Seymour Pape is our leader in dunks. He has 11 dunks now. Kareem is in second. He's got 8, and Isaac has got 7. So those are our top 3 leaders in dunks for this past season. Seymour, you just got 2 for that hilarious rhyme scheme that made me laugh so funny. Rico and Nico are finito. Bravo, Pope. Bravo, Sheriff Seymour Pape. I love that so much. Wayne saying we just like Nick Nurse because he wasted a year out of our life. Yes, not just the players' lives, our lives too. There's other things we could have been invested in if we acknowledged from early that the coach wasn't on board with front office and most fans. Oh my gosh, he had his whole own objectives for this past season, and well, he was successful. He was successful with his own objectives, but he wasn't successful with the team objectives or the Raptors objectives, and he was a huge fail. But not for himself. Selfish ass egomaniac Nick Nurse. Yeah, you and your little hats with the NN. Yeah, Cool Cat saying, Lex, we should let them know that Scotty is shy. In some instances, folks not on Twitch last summer would think he is a pure extrovert. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people really thought that Scotty is just he really got freaked out at that Subway event last year that I was at. And maybe partly because I was there and say, hey, it's Raptors Freak. And he's like, thanks for all the Twitch last year, Scotty. And he's like, oh, it's the Raptors Freak. He said he would be my photographer. And I was like, no, bro, you can't do that, bro. You're too old. You know, I think you're right. I think in the Twitch arena, he could be more comfortable and feel safe and kind of be an extrovert there. But in real life, in public, he doesn't want to be around a lot of people. He does get very uncomfortable with that kind of stuff. So I think you're right, Cool Cat. I think that this is something we could educate the Raptors nation of fans that Scotty seems like an extrovert, but he is really super shy and he doesn't like public engagement. He doesn't like interviews and he gets really kind of anxious and weird. Like he had to run out of that Subway event and go straight home because he was freaked out about how many people were there and just how overwhelming it was in some ways. I could tell. Random Gamer saying, this doesn't make any sense to me, but he hates the Sixers so much. He's crying. Why? You're a fan of the Sixers. Dude, listen, I know I dissed them and I talked them down, but listen, you got our coach, bro. You should be happy. You should be going out and getting a custom jersey like the professional. Get that Nick Nurse jersey or something. Listen, if you want to come to Raptors Nation with us, man, I wouldn't be upset. I mean, I know you probably can't because of where you're from and where you live. And people around you may be like, what, you're repping the Raptors now, bro? What was wrong with you? We just got their coaches. Why aren't you still with the Sixers Nation, Random Gamer? I was like, I don't know, man. He just he watched the Raptor Freak channel so much. He was like, I love these guys. I want to be with them. I don't know. Either way, Random Gamer, we love you. And as I said, I hope you had a good first year of university. And listen, I don't want the Sixers to do well. And if you hate them, I feel bad because I know that's your team. It is what it is, man. MSJ saying, Lex, the idea right there, you are either with us or dragged. Woke is divisive. And what culture would ever look to children to save us? An immature one. Money talks, Lex, and people follow it. Well, money's also going to be the ruin of all of us. It's just going to be that way. At some point, MSJ, we're all going to have to make personal decisions about what matters more. People, humanity, love, the good of society, or just our own greediness. And how much more money we have to get. A billionaire should not exist. I truly believe this. I am anti-capitalist. I don't think capitalist system works, and that we're at the end of our era. We're going to be very much like the Roman Empire. We're going to fall, and we're probably going to go extinct to an extent just because of our own greed. I really do believe this. I think that in some ways we've gone too far already, and that more and more people will be sterile, and we're not going to be able to reproduce, and we're going to die off just like a species in the wild. That this is how things happen on this planet. The Earth is a natural place where natural things happen, and naturally things go extinct. So we want to be extinct. We can go ahead and keep going in this path of valuing money over people and humanity and life itself. Well, that's what we're going to get, MSJ. Now, the thing about being dragged, it's not that we want this to be this way. This is just the way of the world. You know, you can talk to somebody who was born in the 1920s who was against the civil rights movement or against different things that have happened and say, oh, you're divisive. You're dragging me into anti segregation. Well, that's progress. And progress is going to happen either way because younger people grow up. And it's not that they're the leaders right away at 6 or anything, it's they get older and we die off and things change after we die. You can think in your own ego that, oh, the way the world I see it is just going to stay the way it is. Well, it won't. It's going to change whether you like it or not. And that's what I mean when I say that. I don't necessarily say you're going to get dragged with it. It's just the world's going to change whether you like it or not. And that's just how it is. It's the way it's always been. It's happened this way for hundreds of years. We progress as humans. We change. And, you know, people can stay in their old ways, but they have to change eventually if they don't die off before that. That's just how it is. It's just the way the world is. So you either get with it and go with it and progress with the rest of the world, or you get dragged behind, as I said. And you can think that's divisive, but that's just the nature of the world. That's as much as like a seed in the ground grows into a tree. It's just a part of how things are. And you can say that you don't like it, but it's just how it is. I can't tell you that it's any other way because it's proven over and over again throughout the history of time. So that's it. That's it. Space Cadet saying, I didn't even realize Fun Guy was directing a comment at me. I don't even know what I think he got confused because I went off and said I wanted to fight somebody in the street. And he thought I was talking to you, Space Cadet. It was actually talking to Rue, is what it was. Jason Williams is laughing his ass off. I love to make people laugh. Good to see you, Jason. It's always fun. Random Gamer saying, laugh out loud, all love. P.S. Y'all can diss the Sixers as much as you want. I've been doing the same thing ever since Game 7 versus Boston. See, this is part of the Sixers Nation and why they may like coming here is because they may hate their team sometimes and they want to come in and diss them with the Raptors fans. I get this. I mean, the way y'all went out is kind of really disappointing, and I totally get that, Random Gamer. I totally get that. And okay, I get it now. That's pretty funny. Seriously. All right, let's see. Isaac saying, I thought you don't take Raptors Freak seriously, Jason Williams, Penn Troll. I don't know who Jason Williams is. He can laugh. It's part of the entertainment here. I'm not upset at him laughing. In fact, I like laughs. I'm a clown. I'm a trained clown. People call me a clown. Well, thank you, because I put on the red nose and I actually performed that on stage. So it's not a diss to me. I like being a clown. I like being a goof. I like making a fool of myself. That's the thing. I'm bulletproof. You can fucking say all that shit to me. Yeah, you're right. I'm purposefully a clown. So you go ahead and say it. It doesn't bother me. No, he's fine. If Jason Williams wants to subscribe and laugh at what I'm saying, he hasn't said anything wrong. I'm not upset with him. Let's see. David is saying, well, troll or not, smash the like button and subscribe while you're here. Yeah, thanks, David. Let's get the haters to like. Hit that like button, haters. Everybody from Pencer's channel, please like, subscribe, and share. Please. It's all good. Let's see. David saying, Lex, you say you're the crazy one on TV. Just over a year ago on Saturday morning, I turned on YouTube, and here was this weird freak channel, and I tuned in. There you go. I don't know, David. I mean, listen, I'm really thankful for the friendships I'm building on this channel, and they're real. I've seen David in real life. I've gone to games with David, and he's a cool guy. I'm really looking forward to our get-together next month, the Raptor Freak get-together in July we're going to have, where David's going to get his award for being the trivia champion. And I'm serious. I've made good friends. Monique, Sue, Tom, Bradley, Evelyn. There's so many people I've met through this channel already in real life. And then I'm like, these are my people. And so I just love that this channel in some ways has attracted people that are like-minded like me that love the Raptors just as much as me. When I saw David wearing his Chris Boucher jersey, when we went to that game with Tom, the Indiana game, I was like, he's a real one. Nobody would be wearing a Chris Boucher jersey unless they're a real Raptor freak. And that's how I knew David's a real one. So yeah, I appreciate you guys, seriously. And you guys really are my friends in real life, not just on this channel. MSJ saying this team is just going to be better next year. I have no doubt. None. It might not mean more wins, but the team will grow and not melt into dysfunction. Masai saw what we all saw and he fixed it. Yes, MSJ. Yes, I completely agree with this for sure. That's the thing. Why make the change of a coach if you're not going to improve the situation and maybe fix some of the deficiencies of the coach from before? And the one thing in the press conference yesterday is Darko made it very clear that he's not about himself. That may have been the biggest thing he said yesterday is it's about the players. It's not about me. And that may have been something that Nick forgot. And there's a lot of different things he cued on that said that like it's going to be totally different than how Nick ran things. And I like that. I like that he gave us a lot of hope because he told us stuff that maybe people were frustrated about Nick. And he said, well, I'm going to do things differently. And I was like, I like this guy already. There was a lot of that for sure. David's saying your passion, enthusiasm, and overall outlook and energy has kept me coming back ever since. Kudos to you. Thank you, David. Well, I'm glad you guys are entertained and you find value in what I do here every morning. It is a lot of fun. And I know, listen, it is a grind. Seriously, I put a lot into this channel, but I wouldn't have it any other way. This truly is a passion project for me. And I don't gain anything from this other than great friendships and times with you guys. So I really do appreciate you guys. You guys are the lifeblood of my channel, and I appreciate you guys. See, Jason's saying, troll where? You guys are victims. Why are you snooping on Pensera? Lives to know I said that. Only reason I checked in because someone brought up this Joker smoker. All right, Jason. Now you're showing your true colors. You should have just put smiley faces. It's kind of funny. Troll where? Well, maybe you are a troll. Why are we victims? I don't think we're victims. We're Raptors fans and we're proud of it. I love this team and I will fight for this team every kind of way I can, whether it's the information war or the perception wars, which I'm fighting against your little fucking leader who's a piece of shit. Honestly, Pensera is an asshole, man. You want to follow an asshole who hates Fred so much, you go ahead. You must hate Fred too. I don't know what it is, man. You're snooping on me because Bradley went in there and talked about me on the channel. That's fine. Thank you for the traffic. Thank you for the sub. I appreciate it. But yeah, don't name call. That's one thing. You can call me a Joker smoker. Well, I smoke and I'm a joke. So I guess that's apropos. I'm a Joker smoker. I actually sang that song once at Peel Pub down on King Street. You know Peel Pub. If you're from Toronto, you know Peel Pub. If you're a real one from Toronto, you know fucking Toronto. You know where Peel Pub was down on King Street near the Walk of Fame, the Canada Walk of Fame. Well, I was drinking there one night. I used to drink. I don't drink anymore. I'm an alcoholic. And I drank a whole pitcher. Like, first of all, I got up on stage and I sang Steve Miller. This is why I'm telling this story. The Joker. I'm a joker. I'm a smoker. I'm a midnight toker. Yeah, I love Steve Miller, and I am very much a cannabis advocate, and I am a jokester. I have been paid to go do jokes on stage before. So this is accurate. This is not a trollish comment. But yeah, if you know Peel Pub, I sang the Joker and then I got off stage and I chugged a whole entire pitcher of beer immediately after I got off the stage. And then I proceeded to throw up all over like 10 tables in Peel Pub and they threw my ass out on King Street. See, I don't care. I'm not embarrassed by that. I was a horrible fall down drunk and I made a lot of poor decisions when I was a younger person. Well, I'm reformed. I haven't had alcohol in 13 years since then. So yeah, I have made some good hard-earned work on myself to get better as a person. Random Gamer is saying, I would get bullied out of town if I rep the Raptors, laugh out loud. South Jersey and Philly is ruthless. Yeah, I could get that. Maybe you could get away with wearing a Ron Harper Jr. jersey around there. But no, I get it. You can't really cross those lines. I like that you're here. And we really do enjoy being around you. I know you're real busy this past year with your studies, and we didn't see you as much. But dude, seriously, you're a valued person on this channel, and you're not somebody that we hate or don't like some of these people are showing up today that are actually Raptors fans, quote unquote. I don't even think they're fans. I think they're just toxic online people. MSJ saying we can agree there. The money people out there are going to be the ruin of the rest of us. Sad, but it's going to be a new Gilded Age. Being a Luddite myself, I stay away from politics 100%. You know what, MSJ? Listen, I know we had a little bit of a divide just a little while ago, and I want to do this with all due respect. I'm not trying to like dish you or insult you or anything. I really do value and respect your opinions, even if they're not the same as mine. But I like that you came and said we can agree here. And listen, this is a huge problem. There should be higher taxes on very rich people. They could tax the people like Bezos and Elon Musk 90% of their earnings, and it wouldn't hurt them at all. And it would solve all of society's problems. It would build a middle class that would be much, much stronger. And there would be much more healthier things about society in so many different ways. The direction that people are going with greed is really awful. And at some point, there will be a let them eat cake moment, and things will be very fucked up at that point. Trust me. There may be some sort of militarization of the police. And this is why I was saying if y'all are going to vote in Toronto, vote in the mayor race. Don't vote for Mark Sanders because he wants to give tanks and mechanized weapons to the police to use on our own people for corporations and very rich people. Just so you know, that's the damn truth. Now, as far as what else you're saying here is, whatever we can do to try and get on the right page and fix things is the better. Greed will be the death of us all. And I hate it. I hate it. And I just hope that things get better before then. All right, let's keep going. Mike saying W stream. I appreciate that. Fun guy saying, laugh my ass off. Wasn't talking to you, Lex. You fight all you want. Laugh out loud. In fact, I'd come join you for the right cause. I know that. I know if I'm in trouble out in the 905, I can get the fun guy to come help me. Yeah, I appreciate that. You have my back. Listen, I don't want to fight anybody. I will talk a talk though, because some people say, all right, listen, online, people can say all they want and they won't back it up. But I'm not that kind of person. If I say shit on here, I mean it. I'll back it up. Some people are too courageous and say some out of pocket shit when they have the screen in between them. Well, no, I will tell everybody I will back up what I say because I will say it. I'll say it. I'll back it up. Now, if I say something that's out of pocket and somebody feels like they're disrespected and I don't want to fight them, I will apologize. But I will, stand up for what I say, and I'm not afraid. Yeah, I will back it up. Let's see. MSJ saying Raptor ticket prices for one. I could get behind a political movement to lower them. I think we could all get behind that. I mean, they're competitive for what they need to be for the market and stuff like that. I know that they are high and they're higher than they used to be. But in some ways, we got to pay for what we get. And I hate it too, because the common fan should be down near the baskets and near the court. And it's just not that way. It's just not that way anymore. And it is too bad. I'm with you on that one. David's saying, yeah, it's bullshit. Although I heard that there is some sort of bill to limit these third parties and how much they can mark things up like this. Yeah, the prices as far as StubHub and places like that, just marking things just a little bit up. I found out something just recently that just blew my mind yesterday. It's pissing me off. Doug Ford has cut funding for our education system. He's cut funding for our healthcare system. He's cut funding for our fire protection in the middle of this forest fire. And now I hear yesterday he's sitting on a $22 billion surplus for Ontario, that he's just going to use the money how he wants to. It sounds like he's just going to steal the money. Like, do you feel comfortable with Doug Ford sitting on $22 billion of Ontario taxpayers' money right now, that he's going to use it in the right way? No, he should already used it on our education system where it's supposed to be, and also with our healthcare system, and with the pandemic, and now with the forest fires that are out of control. That money should have been over those places. I don't like hearing that he has $22 million of surplus. Fuck that shit. That shit is money that we gave him to spend on us for services. So fuck you, Doug Ford, if you're sitting on $22 billion right now of surplus. That's money that should have been paid to teachers. You fucking piece of shit, Doug Ford. All right, there you go. I'm going to leave on that note. Thanks for watching me today. Tomorrow, Thursday Think Tank, we're going to go deep on the draft and talk about draft prospects. I want to hear who you guys like. I want to hear the names and who you're thinking about we should draft tomorrow at 9:30 on the Thursday Think Tank. It's all about the draft, baby. So come on in for that tomorrow morning at 9:30. Thanks for watching me. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share, and I'll be back tomorrow. Let's go, Raptors. It's the Darko age is now in effect. This man is smiling. We should all be smiling too. There's good things coming. And whatever happens with our team, with the roster this summer, trust in Masai and rely on Bobby that they're going to make the best decisions, including with Fred and Gary and all the other strings that got to be tied up as loose ends this summer. All right, y'all, let's go, Raptors. Stay true and stay positive. As a Raptors fan, don't go to the dark side of that stupid-ass Fred hating channel. Let's go, Raptors freaks. Woo!